Hey everybody, what is up? This is Mr. Extrodin back with yet another video. This is African Frame Podcast. If you're new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell icon so that you can get notified of any other videos that Rob and I might be releasing in the future. What is African Frame? Think of film commentary that we used to check out back in the day when you had DVDs. What's this? Special commentary section. Bonus features section. But instead of actually showing you the visuals, like the entire movie, we are just going to be narrating the movie to you and actually just breaking it down. We're going to be giving you trivia, going to be giving you our thoughts on it, a bit of background on certain characters, actors, and such. We're also going to be giving you a review at the end. If you're interested in such, just check out some of the videos we've done. We've done Christopher Nolan movies. We've done Stanley Kubrick. We've done quite a lot of people, actually, to be honest. We've even done animation and the like. But anyway, this is my co-host, Rob Sibeko. If you do not know, Rob Sibeko is a writer, a director. He has a book out called Jin's War. He actually has 4 books. Jin's War is his latest book. You can actually buy it online through Google Play. It's only $50. I will leave a link in the description below. And thanks to anybody who has bought it so far. Do make sure that you get a copy, get your friend a copy, and let him know your thoughts. Check him out on TikTok and let him know your thoughts about the book. So yeah, today we're going to be discussing Tully or Tully. Tully rather, because Tully is something else. It's a South African name. So we're gonna be doing Tully. Tully stars Charlize Theron, Mackenzie Davis, Ron Livingston, and Mark Duplass. It came out in 2018 at Sundance. I think you and I have not really spoken about Sundance and Cannes and all those places. I think.
Yeah, because those are like pretentious movies.
Come on.
Ones. What's that? What? Have you ever seen American Beauty where that guy records a paper bag floating, a plastic bag floating? And he's like, "This is my art."
Who stars in American Beauty again?
Kevin Spacey. Do you remember it? Kevin Spacey and I'm trying to think of who else because it's a bunch of other people as well. But it was definitely the one that everyone kind of knew. Kevin Spacey. 1999. And Annette Bening and Thora Birch.
I always felt like we should give people a brief explanation of what those things are. They're basically film festivals, right?
Yeah.
I think Cannes is in Canada, obviously, I think. Or is it Sundance that's in Canada?
I believe, I have no idea. I think Sundance is in Canada. I think you're right, actually. And then Cannes is in France, something like that, I think.
Sundance Film Festival. I think it's in Utah. Wait. Formerly Utah US Film Festival, then US Film Video Festival, an annual film festival organized by the Sundance Institute. It's in Utah.
Wow.
So that means the Cannes is in Canada then. I think there's also another one that I'm forgetting, man. There's another one. Oh, that's the one in France. You're right. Cannes Film Festival is in France.
There we go. That's the big one. Yeah. Where you win the Bon Dessonné or whatever it's called. The top award is the
Palme d'Or.
There we go. I palm my deodorant. Yes.
Yes, I know there's a third one. The third one is the Venice Film Festival in Italy.
Mm.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's the Toronto International Film Festival.
There we go. That one sounds more Canadian.
Yep. But anyway, hopefully we can get into it, like actually break it down. Because I mean, some of these films, they really like, I guess you could say they skyrocket some artists, like directors and actors and all of that.
Yeah.
Their careers and all of that. So
Some problem is, right, with those things is, in a way, they're kind of messing with the Oscars. Do you remember watching the Oscars as a kid?
the Oscars were a big deal, bro.
Yeah, so you remember watching it as a kid?
I've never really watched it as a kid, but I've watched clips of them. Like I remember that speech made by Charlize Theron talking about her home country, South Africa, and like Denzel winning the same night as Halle Berry, those type of situations.
Well, I remember watching the actual Oscars from beginning to end, right, growing up.
Wow,
Because
you had DSTV, no?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, at that time. But the reason you watched them was because you used to at least know 3 films. You know what I
Yes.
mean? When
Yes.
Training Day got an Oscar, you'd seen it. When
Right.
Crash got an Oscar, you'd seen it. While Malcolm X got nominated for an Oscar, you'd seen it. And the list goes on. Shawshank Redemption, you'd seen it.
I see where you're going with this.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many of the movies have you seen in this year's Oscars? Oppenheimer?
Well,
The
I've seen
End,
Oppenheimer, I've seen Barbie.
and Past Lives. Oppenheimer and Past
Yes, we've seen those 3.
Because you told me to watch them.
Right.
You hadn't told me to watch it.
Wait, did they win anything?
No. I think Oppenheimer just came in there with a broom and just swept.
It's kind of like how Everything Everywhere All at Once was just like swooping everything.
Yeah, and people got excited about that one because that was a movie everyone watched.
Yes.
Oh, you get what I'm saying?
I see your even with Oppenheimer, like people are happy because most people watched Oppenheimer.
Exactly. But
Right.
then, be honest, did you watch The Green Mile before it won the Oscar? I know.
No.
I didn't watch Moonlight?
You mean the Green Book? No.
The Green Book, yes. Didn't watch it until after, like years later. Didn't watch Moonlight until years later. So all these movies, I feel like there was a time when we could mix a quality movie and a mainstream movie at the same time. I just missed that time period. And I feel like the Oscars are proof of that. We're not in that time period anymore.
Yeah, no, something is definitely. I think after that whole Oscars are so wide thing, they then tried to make sure that they are more inclusive, which is the same thing you could say it happened with Idols in South Africa, where I think Penelope made a comment about how Idols seems to favor white people more, and then it became inclusive, and then you started seeing black people win.
Okay, but now here's the thing. It's done by voting. So what do you mean? What comments can you make? That's basically like me saying, hey, if I roll dice and I hit 6 more often. Okay, but I can't change that. Do you know what I mean?
But okay, let's think about it for a second.
Yeah.
After that whole Oscars are so white thing,
yes,
we started getting more inclusive. Like we started getting people of color getting,
which is great.
Oscars.
Of course. What's not great is maybe they've started adding rules. I know with the BAFTAs they added rules saying there must be X amount of representation in a movie, otherwise it won't even qualify.
Oh, so, yes. I think Patrick Bet-David actually spoke about something like that. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, right, that's crazy. Yeah. And I think the Oscars were talking about doing that as well. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it makes you wonder: are they winning on merit, or are they winning because they winning because they have to fill a certain quota?
Yeah,
meet a certain quota.
Exactly. Because basically, okay, there was one problem the Oscars had before this, and that was the Oscars would always nominate and win movies that always patted themselves on the back. You make a movie about an actor, or how difficult it is to be an actor, Oscar. You make a movie how difficult it is to be a dancer, Oscar. You make a
Or a
movie,
slave.
you know what I mean?
Do a slave movie, Oscar.
Yes, of course. See, it's either race or it's them patting themselves on the back. Those are the two things. Now, don't get me wrong. 12 Years a Slave is a masterpiece.
Right, but I do get what you mean. Like The Pianist, I haven't watched it, but
no thanks. Story about a 5-hour movie about a guy who like gets his fingers smashed or something like that. No, thank you. How boring.
Okay, we're not gonna review it, which sucks because I thought it would be one of the films we would do, but okay. Okay.
No, thank you. We've got too many films, dude. We've got way too many films.
All right.
You know what I mean? So like, I just feel like, I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I like about Tully though, that's kind of interesting.
Sorry.
Tully, yeah. What made you pick Tully?
I wanted before we get there for you to talk about the consent thing because I feel like I disturbed your flow. But yeah, please continue about Tully. Yeah.
No, I was just saying. I just think this was an interesting choice as well because at first I thought, oh, okay, this one's one of those like artsy films, but it's actually a cool idea. It's a cool concept by Diablo Cody. I don't know if you know Diablo Cody.
I don't know Diablo Cody, but wait, is it Diablo?
I believe it's Diablo Cody. How do you say it?
Because Diablo means devil, right?
I know, that's why I'm like, it's white Americans, dude. What do you expect? They don't care.
Look, it's a pen name, so okay.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't care.
I don't know her, but when I was just checking out some research, I do know that she was pregnant when she wrote this.
Makes sense.
So she would write some of her experiences as a coping mechanism of sorts.
Yeah, that's her style.
Yes, and I mean, when you look at some of the things that she has written before, I mean, she wrote Juno, she wrote Young Adult, and Young Adult also had Charlize Theron and the director in it, the same director, Jason Reitman, or Reitman. But I think you wanted to say something about Diablo, right? Before we get to Jason.
I was going to talk about Juno, exactly. About how, like, Juno was a fantastic experience as a film, in my opinion. I enjoyed it so much. I think put her on the map, in my opinion. I think that was literally the movie that put her on the map. And then, things just kind of went up for her. And it's such a spunky, energetic, while at the same time being chill movie. That's about a simple thing, but you kind of have fun with the whole story. I don't know how to explain it. The movie's like a vibe. The whole movie is just like a straight up a vibe, and I really love that about that. So I mean, I'm like a low key Diablo Cody fan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I think for me, I feel like she's you know how when we think about Nancy Myers, we think about a specific style.
Yeah.
And then when we think of now, when I think about Diablo Cody, I'm beginning to think about a certain style. I feel like if you think about a woman who's distraught, right, or is going through something, either a coming of age situation or a midlife crisis or something, but there's basically this like being just distraught for some weird reason, and has to deal with the challenges that they're faced with. So it's an interesting concept. Yeah, and she wrote Jennifer's Body. We spoke about Jennifer's Body before. Guys, please forgive me for sniffing. I actually have the flu, but I'll try my best to behave. But anyway, she wrote Jennifer's Body. We haven't spoken much about it, but we have spoken that it has what's that girl? That hot girl. What's her name again? Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever do it, but I need to watch it. I've never really watched it.
I have a feeling it'll be one of my selections, not yours.
I see.
You start to develop a style now. I've started calling it the Kutso style now. Whenever your selections come up,
let's hear the Kutso style.
Basically, it'll normally have minimal plot points. Then you know, okay, this is a Kutso movie. There's not that many twists. There's not that many things. It's a meditation type movie.
It's like a linear.
Past lives. This one, Tully, like it's one of those ones where like, okay, where's the dramatic pause that's gonna happen at this point or that point? In a Kutsa movie, it's an art film, dog. Kutsa movies are art films.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Like that loves the underground rappers. That's who you are. Where you're like,
Dog, that's me for sure. That's
you
me for
know?
you nailed it. You nailed me to the T right there. I mean, look, there are some mainstream things that I like, but yeah, when I really think about it, if I want to sit down and just watch a certain film, this would be my choice. Like these type of movies that you can't even find anywhere. Like, not, dude, I checked Disney Plus, I checked Netflix, and I checked Showmax.
Yeah.
Tully was not there.
Yeah, I can understand. It's alarming, but yeah, it's a
Crazy.
good movie, that's for sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we have Jason Reitman or Reitman.
It depends on what
Who,
country you're from, right?
pardon?
It depends on what country you're from. If it's Ritman,
Exactly.
West African, so it's Ritman.
If you're South African, it's Reitman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I know it's your name, but you're Ritman here, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, the community. Abed. His real name is Denny Pudi, like Pudi.
Yes.
And Pudi here means goat. You know? So I don't know if in America they call him Pudi or Pudai or I don't know. You know? And it probably means something completely different, dog.
Definitely. No question.
Yeah. So yeah, he directed Thank You for Smoking, which is a movie that I've been meaning to watch for decades.
It is a masterpiece.
Is it?
Yeah, that's mainstream genius right there.
Wow. And then he directed Juno. He directed Up in the Air. With
no. Is that a direction? I don't think that's directing. That's not directing. Or is it? Or am I thinking?
No, he directed Up in the Air.
Okay, I'm thinking of Up. Never mind. No.
Oh, you're thinking about the Pixar one?
No. I'm getting confused. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of the Steven Spielberg one.
Terminal.
There we go.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
That's George Clooney. Up in the Air is George Clooney.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay, cool.
He did Young Adult.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I was talking about that has Charlize Theron in it. And then he did Ghostbusters Afterlife. So,
which is funny enough is a movie I've yet to see yet.
Yeah, same here. I haven't seen it,
But it makes you wonder about the evolution of the scale of what he's doing.
Right.
Because he's involved in some good stuff.
Yeah,
this
man.
It's actually involved in good stuff. Demolition was a good movie. I enjoyed myself there. But that's executive producer. Executive producer there. He's not actually the director.
What, Demolition Man?
Yeah, Demolition, not Demolition Man. It's a Jake Gyllenhaal movie. He's also involved in Whiplash as executive producer. He's got a lot of producer roles. It's actually kind of impressive.
Oh, I see there's also Chloe and Ceremony.
Yes.
He acted in Ghostbusters 2. Huh.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
But yeah. He's got good stuff. This is great.
Yeah, and then Pardon? Were you saying something?
No, I was just gonna say he did a couple episodes of Office, which is nice.
Yes. Yep. And then you have Mackenzie Davis. Mackenzie Davis. Have you watched Black Mirror?
Which Black Mirror episode? Do you know? I
love San Junipero.
What?
You remember San Junipero? The one where people basically go to this you could say virtual reality world where they could hop in anything they can. Pardon?
Lesbian love story.
Yes, the lesbian love story.
Okay, yes.
Yes. She's the main character in that one.
Do you know what's funny? I actually read somewhere that the reason they made that episode was people were complaining that the shit was getting too negative. Because remember, every like Black Mirror episode was like a Goosebumps episode where like it had a bad ending almost.
Oh, yeah, it did sound a bit dark, man. It's like
Yeah.
apocalyptic type of themes.
Yep. So now,
And also had this social message that left a bitter taste in your mouth, I think.
yeah, and then it was like, okay, but is that the point, to leave a bitter taste in your mouth? And then I guess they were like, not necessarily, and they made that episode, yes, as like
Oh,
a
I
little
see.
counter to it, yeah.
Right.
And like, yeah.
Just give me a second. I'm listening. I'll be with you just a second.
Cool. I also like the one with Michael Fassbender as well. That's a great one. We're talking about Black Mirror episodes. The Michael Fassbender one is the one where you can
wait. There's a Michael Fassbender episode in Black Mirror.
It's
What
the one
happens
where
there?
you can basically watch people through their eyes. The technology is that you can kind of watch people through their eyes, right? And then it's like a two-part thing. First part is this guy's like a professional like pickup artist. So he watches people through their eyes, and him and like a bunch of guys basically help this nervous guy to like pick up a chick. But then it turns out the chick is crazy, and then she like murders the guy, and then it just kind of stops there. And then it resets, and you kind of follow Michael Fassbender's life as he this is like his job, right? Dog was the most interesting thing. His job is to design a personal assistant AI, right?
Right.
But then it turns out the personal assistant AI is actually a person. So what they did is they took a clone of your brain.
Yeah.
And they made a clone of you in digital code, and they shrunk it down, and now that code of you controls the things you do, babe. Well, assists you in the things you do. It is fascinating.
You said it's episodes, no? I haven't watched it.
Dude, definitely a great episode. One of the best ones. Definitely one of the darkest.
Anthony Mackie.
That sounds like one of the new ones. I don't think he was in the old seasons. Was he?
It was. Maybe it came out last year, 2 years back.
Okay, yeah, that's the new stuff basically. Because I only watched like the first 3 seasons, I think. I never watched the ones with like,
where he was playing video games with your team Abdul something. That guy who plays Black Manta in Aquaman.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, and then there's one with
the Get Out guy has his own one.
Yes, I saw that one.
That one's great.
There's one with Idris. Is it Damon Idris? Sorry?
Which Idris? What?
You know that kid from Snowfall? What's his name again? You know Snowfall, right?
Snowfall.
The series.
I know the series. Don't know which kid. The main character.
The main character, yes. Damson Idris.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's one about him as well.
Which one is that one?
Basically, he works for a corporation. Funny enough, the founder of the corporation is Topher Grace. You know Topher Grace, right?
Yes.
So he is like an intern, but then he gets kidnapped by this guy. So the guy deliberately kidnaps him so that he can ultimately get hold of the founder. Because if you kidnap someone who works at your organization, as the founder or the CEO or whatever, you're basically liable for that. Like you have to sort of like try and make sure that you salvage the situation. I mean, it gets to a point where there's like a ransom required, a negotiator is involved. Like it's a whole thing, dog. So Topher Grace actually started calling this guy against advice from like his PR manager. Like it's a whole thing, dog. Like it's a whole.
No, sounds cool.
Yeah, no, trust me, it's awesome. And the guy who he kidnapped because you know how these things go. I think his daughter was screwed over by the organization somehow. It's a whole thing. You know how it is, like a John Q type of thing. So.
Well, I used to love that show. Never watched a lot. Yeah, I can tell I missed a few episodes.
Okay, so the lesbianism episode was the basically like this a step in the new direction of like let's be more optimistic.
Kind of, yeah. Obviously
But
not every.
it's sad though. That episode is sad.
What do you
In
mean?
a
They
way.
died together, like. And it's not just that one, eh? It's not just that one. It's also the dating one as well. There's another dating one where basically the AI decides if you're going to be with someone for a certain this length of time, remember? And then it gives this couple like 5 minutes,
Mhm.
and then they just get to know each other for 5 minutes, and then they have to leave each other alone, and they have to go hang out with other people, and
Yeah.
then they kind of realize that they really like each other, and they want to get their time back. It's a beautiful episode, and they have to try and fight the system. It's really cool.
Who's in that one?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Not anyone I really know that well.
Maybe
that's
one day we should just review like these episodes because they're basically like movies because it's one episode.
They're like freaking episodes that take themselves seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
basically you're right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Oh God, have you seen the one with Okay, last one.
With Miley Cyrus.
Cell phone. The one I don't know which one came first, Community or Black Mirror. The social credit system one.
Please tell me about that one.
Basically, the idea is you must review other people.
Yeah,
So
I wanted to talk about that one actually with Bryce Dallas Howard. Oh man, I love that woman, man. If I could, anyway, let me not say certain things on this show.
Yeah.
But Bryce Dallas Howard for me is, yeah, I think she's definitely in my top 10 of like ultimate crushes, dog. Anyway.
Yeah.
I like the part where she gets like a bad review so much, then this lady in a truck, like this truck driver lady, is picking her up, and then she's like, "I don't care about these things. Like, I don't care about like these vanity metrics."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vanity metrics episode, man, and it
like
feels like we're slowly going there. We're heading. I mean, I think there was a part where she was at an airport or something, right?
And then she like loses access to a flight or whatever.
Yeah. And then she proves to them why she loses these points because she becomes so frantic and whatever.
Yeah. It
Crazy.
becomes a downward spiral, yeah.
Yeah.
Domino effect is very cool.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of the best ones ever. Because when she goes to the wedding, dog, it's it's a night.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so she was in that episode. She was basically the main character of that episode. And I think she even won an award for that role.
Oh, nice.
Mistaken. Yeah. Just give me a sec. She was also in The Martian. You remember The Martian? I think it's a Ridley Scott movie with Matt Damon.
Wait, who? Mackenzie?
Mackenzie, yes.
As who?
I have no idea, bro.
That one caught me by surprise.
Yeah, because I mean, I was thinking about people like Jessica Chastain in that one. And who's this guy? Bucky. What's his name again?
Bucky's Porter. No, I'm joking.
No, I'm talking about Bucky from Marvel. What's his real name? Sebastian.
Sebastian something.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan.
There we go.
Oh, she's a satellite planner in Mission Control.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ooh, that is Jessica Chastain, who's just now. There's for you. You got Miles Dallas Howard. I would say Jessica Chastain, man.
Funny enough, at a point, I used to think they were the same person.
Yeah, as much. I figured you'd say that.
Apparently, like sometimes they get mistaken for each other.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the Margot Matt Damon effect.
I still say if I had to choose, I would choose Bryce, dog. And funny enough, her dad, Ron Howard, is an actor and a director. You know that, right?
Yeah, Ron Howard. I know the. Okay, I didn't know that, but I know who Ron Howard is. Yes, great director.
And then she did Terminator: Dark Fate. I haven't watched that one.
That's fine. That's the one where she's supposed to be buff. She's supposed to be a Terminator, and then it's like.
Oh, is she the Terminator in that one?
Yes, she's the Terminator chick.
Oh, okay.
That's funny.
Did you watch it?
Nah, I watched, input like this. I watched pieces of it. I don't want to say clips, but pieces, like entire scenes, and I'm like, yeah, nah, Terminator's done. I was done with Genesis. I was done at
Yeah,
Genesis.
that's when they tried to get the original Sarah Connor, but it was way too late, man.
It was way too late. You should have put her in Genesis.
And they tried to like sell it, hey? Like they showing James Cameron and the director of Deadpool, but
Oh
no.
yes, directed by the man who made Deadpool, and it's like, okay, but we all saw Deadpool 2, so your flex is not as strong as it used to be. It's like, jeez,
What?
dude. I'm saying he directed Deadpool 2, and that kind of weakened it. Your flex has gotten soft, my friend.
Yeah.
Unless, hey, dude, I'm not saying I hated Deadpool 2, but it was a downgrade.
No, there was definitely a downgrade. I mean, and I was funny enough, I was thinking about that earlier today that
Mm.
the stunt woman who I think she was a stunt woman for Domino. There's a scene in the movie where Domino was riding a bike.
Yeah.
Some stunt woman died during filming of Deadpool 2.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they don't talk about it, but yeah, she died. It's just messed up. But anyway, it's just a rant. Yeah, I guess those are the big ones.
Definitely.
And then you have Ron Livingston. Ron Livingston is the husband in the film. He was in Swingers. And then he was in a television series called Louder Milk. And he was in Boardwalk Empire.
Okay, nice.
In season 4 of he was in Band of Brothers.
Yes.
And he was in Sex and the City, funny enough.
Jeez, how old was he when that movie came out?
No, the series.
I mean, series, sorry. How old was he when that series came out? I mean, that was a while back. How old is this guy?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a while
those
back.
guys.
He's 56.
Oh, he's older than he looks.
Hey, dog. Because he
I
looks
guess,
good.
yeah, that millennial thing is true, bro.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There's
You know about
definitely something happening with us, dog. Like some of the people that you see nowadays, and when you look at their age, you're like, what the hell? How's this guy this age?
Mm-hmm. You hear about the whole Gen Z looks older than millennials now. You've heard about that whole thing.
Yeah, I think it's true, bro. Oh, he was also in Drinking Buddies. Do you know Drinking Buddies?
Mm-mm.
Jake Johnson, Olivia Wilde, Anna Kendrick, and this guy is in it. There's a lot of improv in it. You can tell, dog. You can tell that these people didn't. The script just said do this and do this. There's a lot of improv. It's kind of like the first Iron Man film.
Well, that's cool. That's actually very cool.
I'm not talking about like in terms of like I'm talking about like how the script is going. Like you can see it. Yeah. I'm not talking about like special effect. Nah, it's very like they work at a brewery.
Yeah.
And the Olivia Wilde and Jake Johnson are best friends, and they have like partners, and these partners sort of have a thing. Yeah, it's definitely if you watch it, you'll be like, this is a Kuto movie. Let me just put it that way. Let me just put it
Well,
that
he's
way.
done some non-Kutso ones. That's what I like right here.
Yeah.
What I know him for is definitely The Conjuring, as the dad in The Conjuring. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same actor, but there's a scene right where there's a guy. He goes to a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he orders a latte or something. And the cashier was like, "Would you like to have coffee, milk with that, or something like that?" But she speaks in that Kim Kardashian type of tone, right? And he mocks her. It's like, "No, I would not like to have milk with that." It's like, and she's like, "Why are you speaking like that?" It's like nobody speaks like that, all right? And then he explains why people do that. And then this chick gets upset and starts speaking normally, and he's like, "Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Speak like that." I think it's him, man. It looks like him. I could be wrong, but I think it's him.
Maybe. Have you ever seen Office Space?
No, I haven't.
I want to say it's because I know there's a waiter scene there, because I know Jennifer Aniston is a waiter there, but I don't think that's one. But legit, have you not seen Office Space?
I haven't watched it.
It is. I'm sure you've seen the meme of the guys beating up a printer. You never seen the meme?
It's Louder Milk. I'm talking about Louder Milk. It's a scene from Louder Milk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the to the thing, dude. You're gonna laugh, bro.
You should definitely, dude. But also, you need to. Okay, I might pick Office Space then as one of my movies because
I don't know if Louder Milk is a film or if it's a series. It's a series. Damn it.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fail. Yeah.
Because I know you don't wanna watch series. We don't review series here.
Yeah, that would take too long.
His name is Sam Loudermilk.
Oh. Wait, is that his name or the name of the show?
The name of the show is based on his surname, basically.
Oh.
You know, like back in the day when you'd have a series like that. I think Matlock is a surname, isn't it? Stuff like that.
Actual. Oh, this is a new series, isn't it? It's not like not a new. It's a new series, isn't it?
What, Loudermilk?
Isn't it new?
Came out in 2018.
And it's done already.
Wait. When did it come out?
No, 2017 to 2020.
Oh yeah, 2017 to 2020, yes.
No, because it's something that I plan on watching, but I didn't know it was called Loudermilk.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was called Loudermilk until now, actually.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely plan on
it's something I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Just from that specific scene.
I mean, I like to think they'd tell us what the plot is at some point, though.
Yeah.
But anyway. Definitely on my list of things I would love to watch because the actors in it look hilarious. Combination of guys that are like, you know what I mean, like genuinely funny as all hell. Yeah. So, what's it? Will Sasso. Yeah.
Who's Will Sasso?
Huh?
Who's Will Sasso?
He's like that, like funny big guy. He's like one of those guys where he's like a big guy, but you all know him.
Oh, I know this guy. He looks like he used to be like a quarterback or something when he was young.
Like a bouncer or something. Yes, but he always plays like this cool, energetic, funny guy.
Yeah.
Like a buff Jack Black. I don't know.
It's so weird because you would think someone like him should be like in like a lot of action movies, but he prefers comedy for some reason.
Yeah.
Because he was on Mad TV. Hey.
Yes, I think you're right.
You know who is like? Do you know? Let me try to find. Okay, there's two people that I'm thinking about.
I'm thinking of the King of Queens, and by that I mean
you're thinking of Kevin James, no?
Kevin James, yep, Hitch.
No, I'm not talking about him. But yeah, that's a good example. I'm talking about Rob Riggle. You know Rob Riggle?
Rob Riggle.
I think Rob Riggle was even in the army at a point. Just hold on, I'll show you. I'll show my screen just now. And not just him. There's also Patrick Whitburn, I think Whitburn or something. You know the guy from in Family Guy. You know Joe, the wheelchair guy.
Yeah, of course. I know Patrick Whitburn. Everyone knows Patrick Whitburn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'm talking about this guy.
The Kuso, the thing. So the Kuso thing.
Yeah, you know this guy.
Yes. Him and whatchamacallit, those guys definitely. The Cusco thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He voiced Buzz Lightyear in the series, Buzz Lightyear and Star Command, right?
Yes. In fact,
Buzz Lightyear, Star Command.
Ted,
what?
Dude. Ted. The two of them, aren't they both in Ted? They play like two co-workers. Then it's like they like bully Ted. They take bully Mark Wahlberg's character. And then it turns out that then at the end of the movie they're like, yeah, no, we're totally gay. We're gay for each other. We have sex all the time. You've watched Ted?
Yeah, I know Patrick Whitburn is in it because obviously he was in Family Guy, so it's easier to hire him as a as a character in Ted.
That kind of character, yes. with the serious voice.
I didn't know Rob Riggle was in, unless if I forgot, man.
Oh,
Because
maybe
Rob
I
Riggle,
wait.
Rob
Maybe
Riggle is in a lot of stuff, dog.
not as much as Warburton, that's for sure. That guy is in everything.
Yeah.
Now it's getting me mixed up between Ted and there's like 12 Teds now. Even though I want to see the Ted TV series because apparently it's really good.
Yeah, I only saw like a few scenes of that series, but yeah, it's funny as hell.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like we're tangenting so much that we haven't even started with this film.
Yeah, I know. What's a small cast anyway? It's like literally 4 people.
Yes, I think the last person that we need to talk about is
did we even talk about Charlize properly?
No, the brother. Up to plus.
Yes.
Plus. I have no idea.
Plus. Just
yeah, like the stuff that he's worked on, I've not watched any of these things.
Famous stuff is stuff I don't know. I agree.
So he's a writer, actor, musician, filmmaker. It's kind of like you. The only thing that he hasn't done, that you haven't done, I think it's music, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not a music guy.
Yeah, he's a musician. And do you act?
Not if I can help it.
Okay, so he's a filmmaker, right? He's a filmmaker, writer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's you. Those 2 things are you. Right?
But I see him in some stuff here. Lazarus thing with Childish Gambino, that one I know. Okay, I know him in that one.
I don't know.
He plays the scientist. You don't know that one with where like it's Oliver Wilde, Mark Duplass, Evan Peters, Donald Glover, Evan Peters.
Oh yeah, Evan Peters, Quicksilver.
Yes, and then Sarah Bolger. I'm assuming I'm saying that wrong. That sounds terrible.
What's it called?
The Lazarus Effect. It is a very okay at best. Like, I don't like horror movies because they freak me out, and that one doesn't freak me out. So you kind of get an idea of the quality of horror that's there.
Is it realistic? Is it like the Blair Witch Project or something? Is that why?
It's a PG-13 type horror movie, is what I mean, basically. Like, I think Jurassic Park is scarier than that movie, but still, you get the idea. So that's one thing I know I've known him in. But I'm sure it's a lot of...
I haven't watched it at all, actually. I don't want to lie.
All right.
Yeah.
Tammy sounds familiar.
Tammy, yes, I know of it, but I haven't watched it. I feel like at a point Melissa McCarthy started doing like films that seemed similar.
It's because someone said, would you like to make Adam Sandler money? And it didn't work out.
Wasn't she like one of the richest actresses at a point?
Yeah, of course. I'm assuming that's after Julia Roberts fell off, but yes.
No, like she blew up in Bridesmaids. Have you watched Bridesmaids?
Yes, of course. Like 50 times.
After she blew up in that, she started getting these roles, man. I mean, she's great. It's just that, I don't know, man. You know, sometimes there are certain actors who do some certain projects that just feel too American.
Come on, did you not like Spy?
I watched it, but it didn't hit for me. That's the one with Jason Statham, right?
Yes. Well, he's
man, it didn't hit.
Dressed up as Barack Obama, and they're like, you can't do that. And then like, where he's like, what?
Was Anne Hathaway in there?
I want to say
it wasn't Anne Hathaway. I think it was. It's the other girl that was in Bridesmaids. What's her name? That hot chick, man. That hot Australian woman. She was in Neighbours with Seth Rogen. What's her name? Again. And I can't believe I'm forgetting her name because I like her so much. She was in X-Men First Class. Rose Byrne, yes. Rose Byrne. She was in Spy, right? Wasn't she in Spy?
Yeah, she is. As the like the good spy, yes. The talented.
As the good spy.
As the bad guy, sorry.
No, as the bad guy, yes, as the villain, right? With the Julia Lee thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think she spoke a different language in there.
Yep. But I can't believe you don't like Spy. Like, that's one of my funniest.
And I think the plot twists were just ridiculous, dog. Like,
to me, that's
the
even
plot twists
funnier
were
than
just
Bridesmaids.
ridiculous. Pardon?
Yeah. To me, that was even funnier than Bridesmaids. Like, I really enjoyed myself there.
What? No ways, dog.
It was funnier than
No
Bridesmaids.
ways, dog. Like, Bridesmaids is a classic, dog. Like, Bridesmaids is just hits for me. Like, almost every scene for me was just cracking me up, dog.
Just the dick pic out of the blue, and then it stays on screen for like 5 minutes, and you're like, oh Jesus!
What's that?
That was really funny in Spy, where they're just like the dick pic, and it's like, what is happening? They're looking through like the enemy spy's phone,
Yeah,
and it's just pic, and they're like, oh my god, and they keep looking at it, even though I love it so much. It's just so funny.
Yeah,
But
and I kind of sort of have a thing for Melissa McCarthy, but that's a story for another day. But
then again,
Huh?
I think basically everything. But yeah, as you were saying, she has like a 5-year period where like it's Bridesmaids from like 2011, and she's just in everything.
And everything. And before that, I mean, there's a series that she was in. Wasn't she in Gilmore Girls at a point? No, not Gilmore Girls. There was a series, man.
And who?
Pardon?
Oh no, she's in Gilmore Girls for 153 episodes.
Yes, she was in Gilmore Girls, but there's a sitcom, man.
She's in Kim Possible for 3 episodes.
Is it Mike and Mandy? Mike and
I feel like stroking out.
Mike and Molly. Mike and Molly is the season. Is the series the sitcom I'm talking about in 2010.
Ah, okay.
And she did like 127 episodes of that, dog.
So that was before the blow up, though.
Yeah, that's before the blow up. I think after she left this, that's when she blew up.
Yeah, because you can actually see the trail line here. Because it's like, so you gotta go down now.
But she did. This is
2011. I think 2011 is Bridesmaids, yes. And then, this is 40, and that's when it really blows up. 2013 is Hangover, Heat, Tammy, Spy, the Boss. That one.
Yeah.
Central Intelligence.
I love The Boss. It's really good.
Ghostbusters. Skipping stuff. Some of the stuff where she yes. Happy Time Murders, Life is a Party. Just an insane 10 years.
Hey, bro.
10-year period.
Super intelligence.
But I'd argue those first 3 years is where it really happened, and then everything else is kind of like.
Yeah, it just feels. I like how you described it when you're saying that it feels like Adam Sandler stuff.
Yeah.
I'll send you a link to a video on YouTube, a video essay about Adam Sandler. Apparently, he got like Raspberry Awards of almost every project that he he released, which is so weird. Like, I had no idea people thought his acting is atrocious.
Because it's Africa, we love Adam Sandler. Do you know what I mean?
But not just because it's Africa. Like, I think there's that whole thing about critics and audience.
Yeah.
Where audiences disagree with the critics.
Well, no, definitely. But at the same time, I would also argue, ironically, that causes a ripple effect. Kind of like the Devil Wears Prada effect, where because it gets negative reaction in America or like with critics, it becomes cheaper. So then what ends up happening is that we South Africans end up buying it. You know what I mean? South African licensing ends up buying it, so we end up seeing it and we end up liking it. If you know what I mean.
I get you.
It's that classic Bold and the Beautiful debate. You know what I mean?
Yes. I don't know why people think Bold and the Beautiful is whack, but I've never thought it was whack, ever. But hey.
Dog, I was a kid, but yes. Dog, but it's the same principle where I think that's what happens. And I think a lot of these things showed up on Mnet and DSTV and SABC pretty quickly, I would argue.
They had high rotation as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that would put her ahead, if you know what I mean.
And I guess these are the projects where you find that they were not even nominated at the Oscars. They didn't even, and you're like, why? Because you love them.
Yeah.
But America hates them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's interesting because you do get those ones where, like, in fact, I had a cousin once who was a musician, and he blew up in Japan.
Yeah, I wanted to get there actually. I wanted to say that I don't know if you know Lindelani Mkhize. He's one of the co-founders of Joyous Celebration. He
Oh yeah.
actually mentions that some of these R&B artists,
Mm-hmm.
we think they're huge, right? Because
Yeah.
we grew up listening to their music here.
Yes.
But you find that they're playing in like these pubs, local clubs where it's just like 16 people, and you know that woo, 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 like that one guy who does that woo, woo. Okay, he
Yeah,
didn't say this. I'm just painting a picture.
I know.
And that guy is probably like the cousin or the
Yeah.
husband or something.
Yeah. Literally.
And that's why most of them come here every year. That's why they come and perform here every year because they realize there's a market, like a huge market in South Africa.
Exactly. But it makes you wonder what it is. Do you think it's just do you think it's just the money, or do you think it's actually like there's a vibe in the world, right? In South Africa, there's a vibe that's hitting right now that doesn't match the vibe that's happening in America.
Yes,
If you
it's that. I believe Mbongeni Gemba said something quite interesting. The late Mbongeni Gemba. I was watching an interview with him, I think last year or early this year. He said the thing about South Africans is we can listen, like, let's just say you're watching Channel O. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
You can watch a Kwaito song. After that Kwaito song, there's R&B. You don't change the channel, dog. From there, it's jazz. And then after that, it's like whatever. You know, it's hip hop.
Mm.
These four tracks come like they play just like that in that row.
Yeah.
And you dance to all of them and you dance differently with different, like your body just moves different. It was so adaptable.
True enough.
Yeah. So I think that's what that is because I mean we grew up watching like SABC 1, 2, 3. We knew the difference between the three. Then we're watching ETV and Mnet.
Yeah, and you watched all of them, man. You didn't just
We
watch
watched
one.
all, dog.
You know, 8:30
It's nice, and then pardon?
8 o'clock is Generations. No,
Yeah.
7:30 is Dingo. 8 o'clock
Yeah.
is Generations.
Yes.
8:30 is like what's that thing called? I think as ETV would have had like no man, what's it called? Rhythm City or some nonsense like that.
Or
And then you know
6:30, yes.
exactly, it'd be a straight line. You're right. Sorry, Rhythm City's in the morning.
Not in the morning, like 6:30 in the evenings too.
Yes, you're right, but there's another one, man.
David Dylan.
SABC 2. No, SABC 2. About 8:30, 9 o'clock. Say it again. I think yeah, somewhere there, yeah. And you'd end up with a straight line of soapies. So it'd be like
from like 6:30 until like 9:30.
Yeah, so 6 o'clock, Days of Our Lives. 6:30, Bold and Beautiful.
Yes.
Sorry, what's it again? Seven Delan and Igoli and Muvago. Rhythm City, yes. Rhythm City, yes. And then Isitingo, then Generation.
Yes, then Generation.
Yeah. So you just like a straight line. A straight line. You come home from work and it's a straight line. You go to bed.
Yes, and for people ask, I remember when I was in high school, I wanted to watch Prison Break, but my mom and my sister wanted to watch Movango, dog. Yeah. It was a nightmare, dog. I would ask them like during ad breaks, that guys, can I just please go and can I just take it to Mnet for like a few seconds, please?
Isn't that crazy? Can you just stop and think about that for a second? Prison Break. There's a guy who just got into prison to save his brother with a giant tattoo on his back of the actual entire prison system. And then, and he's going to try and get this out. Or, what is Katiwa doing right now? People are like, what is Katiwa? So Africans are like, what is Katiwa doing right now? I'd like to know.
What did Capella just say right now? Versus this guy.
I heard Barker Hayes is back. Yeah.
It's unfathomable that we have such debates. But it just, like you said, dog, it just shows you like how adaptable we are to certain things, man.
We have our own vibe. We're unique.
Yeah, no, we are. We are. And I think someone in America noticed that. Or rather someone here in South Africa noticed that. Whether it's the DSTV guys or whatever, and they milked it. They milked it. I mean, Felicia Mabuza at a point was our Oprah. Even the hairstyle was like Oprah's hairstyle, though.
Oh, definitely. Is she even still acting? Because I know she's like in everything. You just see her face in everything, dude.
Oh, Felicia Mabuza.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking of a different person. Sorry. The one that was in Generations. I forgot her name now.
Oh, Connie Ferguson. Connie Ferguson. Yeah, I think she has a deal with Netflix, but she's back in Generations now.
She's just everywhere, dog. You look left, look right. You're like, are there only 3 South Africans? Did only 3 people choose to act? The rest of us working in mines.
But anyway, I think that's okay. We didn't speak much about Charlize Theron. Okay, so Charlize Theron was in The Devil's Advocate. I think that's the first film that she ever did, isn't it? Or am I The Devil's Advocate?
As who?
As Keanu Reeves.
Oh, sorry, yes. Sorry, I'm thinking of Devil Wears Prada. I always do that. Devil's Advocate. I think that was the first one, yes.
Yeah, and she blew up, man. Like for me, if I'm completely honest,
yeah,
that's the best performance I've ever seen her in, and I've honestly never really seen anyone do certain things that she did in that movie. Like the way she was so crazy in that movie, dog. I haven't seen anyone portray a crazy character like that in my entire life. And after her, I haven't seen anyone else do it.
Well, yeah, there's a lot going on with Charlize. I think she's just an incredible actor in general.
Yeah,
but, oh no, it wasn't. Okay, no, it's a small role, TV. Yeah, I guess Devil's Advocate is the first big one, yeah.
Oh, it was the first big one.
Yeah, because there's some small stuff here, but what's the point? But yeah, Devil's Advocate. Then the next year is Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah, which is a movie, I don't know, man. Isn't it about that gorilla?
Giant, the mega gorilla, yeah.
Yeah.
She's in Medal of Honor. Sweet November, I don't know much about that one. 15 Minutes, I don't know much about that one. Okay, the Italian Job.
I don't know The Astronaut's Wife.
Yeah, same.
I know the Reindeer Game. I know Reindeer Games, yes.
Oh, did I skip? Oh, I did skip that one. Yes, that's a big one, definitely. Yeah, but she was busy to it.
Sounds familiar.
The Legend of Bagger Vance. Yep, that's a good one. Sweet November. Okay, main role there, definitely. Italian Job, absolutely massive. And then, of course...
Yeah, I think it really... Because that year she was busy, hey. Like 2003, she was busy, dog.
2000, 2003, she was busy, dog.
Yeah, because she did Italian Job and then she did Monster same year.
And she won an Oscar, yeah.
Yeah, because that's when and everybody spoke about this. She did that whole Christian Bale thing before Christian Bale where she lost weight.
Yes.
And then gained weight for Monster, then lost it again.
Which is fun fact, actually. She actually gained 50 pounds, or she gained a bunch of weight for this one as well, for Tully.
Yes, she did. Oh, Head in the Clouds, man. Have you watched Head in the Clouds?
I'm not sure.
Oh, man, I love this. It's a beautiful movie, bro.
Hey, dog. I think you're right. It is, definitely. I don't know myself. But I see over here, of course, Atomic Blonde. There's the big one.
Yes. I haven't watched it, but...
What? Yeah.
Started doing like the Fast and Furious movies. I was like, no. And Kringo, I didn't enjoy it at all.
It's basically like the John Wick guys.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't watched.
Huntsman, Winter's War, or just the Huntsman?
I haven't watched that.
White Huntsman. Oh, okay. It's the one with Kirsten Stewart.
Yes. I'm aware. She's Snow White, right?
Yeah. No, she's the witch. Kirsten Stewart is Snow White, and she's the Wicked Witch. Yes.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, Kirsten Stewart is because I know there's the sequel with Emily Blunt as the sister, right?
Yes.
No, I haven't watched any either. And Thor is the huntsman, or rather Chris Hemsworth.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I haven't any of that.
She's got a small uncredited role in The Boys. She's in
The Boys, the series.
Yeah, The Boys, the series, where she plays front in the trailer for the TV movie. You know the movie Dawn of the Seven? They're like trying to make their own The Boys movie.
Yeah.
With the Seven. And then she plays this version of Stormfront.
Oh.
Yeah. So she plays an actor playing a superhero in a superhero TV series.
Oh, okay. Oh, remember she also did Aeon Flux?
Yes, of course.
And
How could I forget?
she did what's this? The Old God. Apparently there's Old God 2 coming out.
Did that movie even make money? Like, I'm even shook. But yeah,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like after like that whole Fast and Furious era, I don't know.
didn't you do
I mean,
1,000?
she started being like in. Remember, I told you before that she started doing. That's when she realized that she's no longer like the leading lady because she was approached to play Wonder Woman's mom. She thought she was supposed to play Wonder Woman or something, and in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, she has like a cameo role. I mean, obviously, she will have a bigger role, I'm assuming. But did you watch?
I did not watch Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, she's in Marvel now. She's in the MCU.
As a
I
small
feel like
character.
once they started bringing these top Hollywood actors in Marvel, something
Like,
just.
I could understand Tilda Swinton. She got used fairly well, even though people can
Yes.
argue about the racial bending they did there. I think
Right.
Tilda Swinton got used very well. She's like Charlize's age. So you can't tell me you can't use Charlize in something better. That's a
Right.
waste of an actor. This is Christian Bale all over again.
Yes, I mean, sure, you did have some A-list Hollywood actors already, but I think it was minimal, and they also didn't like taking the spotlight. Like for instance, you had Gwyneth Paltrow, you had Jeff Bridges, you had Mark Ruffalo, but when you started bringing like these extremely mainstream guys, like your Salma Hayek and these Game of Thrones actors, you're like, hey, no, guys, you're ruining a good thing.
Now, my only question is it bad acting or a bad movie with Eternals? I never watched it. I got bored at the trailer. The trailer made me sleepy with
Wow, man.
Eternals.
I really enjoyed the Eternals. Apparently, there's Eternals 2 coming out.
First of all, apparently, like, I've watched a lot of things from Marvel, and I think only one thing has ever even acknowledged Eternals. That there's a giant thing sticking out of the earth.
Yeah.
I think only one thing has ever even mentioned it. Because remember, at the end of Eternals, apparently there's a giant face and a hand sticking out of the earth.
Yes, I thought it was Galactus when I saw that, actually.
Yeah. But, okay, no, they would never. I think Marvel fans would actually burn the studio down if they wasted Galactus like that.
If you watch that scene, it really looks like it's Galactus. It probably might not be, but it looks like it's Galactus.
No ways. But there's the whole point, isn't it? And then also, don't forget about did you watch Moonwalker or whatever? What's it called? Moon, whatever that guy's name is.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, yes.
Moon Knight.
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
Yeah, Moon Knight.
You seen it?
No, I just know the comic book character because I used to read Spider-Man and he used to feature in Spider-Man. Well, the comics that I have. But I've never seen the series.
No, fair enough, but he's really good. You should definitely watch it. It's not great, but it's really good. It's above average, better than most things. And there's a section, right, where they move the stars, the rotation of the Earth, to match a certain time period, like 20,000 years ago. And it's like, okay, but everyone can see this, right? So is anyone going to mention it?
Anyone can see what?
Them literally shifting the position of the stars right before your eyes. Like strobe light effect as the stars spin, like as if the planet Earth is spinning on a top. It looks like it's like that for like 10 minutes straight, and no one noticed. No one was curious.
It's similar to that whole Superman thing, you know, the Richard Donner Superman where he reverses time by actually.
Yeah.
Which for me, it's like, okay, first of all, if we were watching. If this was a real thing, for real, if this actually happened, why is it that we can see Superman's body rotating the Earth How big is Superman compared to the planet?
I know, that's silly shit. And also, yeah.
Dude, you were not even supposed to see anything happening there.
Yeah.
Because Superman has to be extremely small.
Exactly.
For that to even happen. Like, I think we saw a figure there, dog. I was like, this doesn't make sense at all.
And imagine to see that, right? And then they make a Batman movie in the same universe, and then no one mentions it. I'd be like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, come on. Like, someone has to notice something happening.
Give me some continuity, guys.
Yeah, I know. But hey, man, I think that's what happens when you write yourself in a corner.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, I think we should get into it, man. I don't know if you want to mention anything about Charlize Theron, but I mean, yeah, she's an Academy Award winner.
Definitely.
And she wasn't affected by the Oscar curse. I don't think she was affected by the Oscar curse. Oh, she was in Hancock as well. I didn't mention that.
She was in what?
Hancock.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. But I was going to say some trivia. There's actually the funny moment here when Marco asked Tully what she'll be doing tonight, and Tully says the same thing I do every night, try to take over the world.
I love that scene, dog.
Actually, I added that scene. You know why? And it's kind of funny. The reason why is kind of funny. It just shows how good the writing is. Because the reason I got mad at that scene, I was like, there's no way that Tully's old enough to remember a 90s cartoon. It's impossible.
Yes.
But of course, if you watch the movie,
that's what I thought as well. And I saw it again today, but even though I knew how it ends, I was still like, there's no way she knows this.
There's no way Tully knows a 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
So that's a fun little tidbit there. And of course, you mentioned some stuff about Jason Reitman and Diablo Cody and Charlize Theron being together.
Yes.
Yep. It reunites them, of course, Young Adult and Juno, of course.
Yes.
What you might not have known is that they pushed the movie back to avoid competition with Avengers Infinity War. Good idea.
Good idea.
Yep. And then Mark Duplass and Charlize Theron have been. It's not they played husband and wife again in the movie Bombshell.
Oh no! Wait, Mark Duplass in Tully was the brother. He wasn't the husband. It's the rich
right. But in Bombshell, they're husband and wife.
Ah, I see.
So yeah, fun fact there.
I need to watch Bombshell. I've only watched like the first 5 minutes or something.
I also need to watch it because it's like
where the casting agency decided we're gonna get like 3 of some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood to be in this film. We're gonna get Nicole Kidman and Margot Robbie and Charlize Theron. How about that? It's like, okay. You guys clearly want us to see this.
Yep. And it's so funny. They made it about Fox News. Meanwhile, it was like one of the other studios that had a room where a guy would press a button and the door would lock. And I'm like, that's the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life. Make a movie about that guy. This was the movie Bombshell was made around the Me Too era, basically.
Yes.
And make a movie about that creepy guy. I want a movie about him. The guy who has a lock you in with him. But yeah, anyway, that's all my stuff. Besides the fact that Mackenzie Davis had a voice role in Gears of War, in the OG Gears of War, 2006 one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how old she must have been for that, though. Like, how many years ago was that? But yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's what I have.
Because she looks young, so I don't know.
Yep.
It's a good question. I don't have an answer, but she looks young in general.
It's crazy young, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
Opening shot is of a stairway where a pregnant Marlowe comes down to what I thought was a sponge bath of the child. It plays out with strong close-ups. Like we spend a full minute watching as she plays music and like does this whole scrubbing thing. She's resting while massaging her feet and rubbing lotion on her belly. We meet Drew, and we kind of set up a little bit of a negative relationship between the brother-in-law and Drew, because he's like, this guy doesn't like me. I thought that was interesting. And we also get a few clues as to the relationship between them, right? Between the husband and the wife as well, because you see the wife trying to relax, and the husband is like moving around, like on his. They're very separated in the shot. Like he's down there and she's over here. And at first it doesn't seem like a thing that's important, but I think later on it plays a part. Anyway, we see that they have a girl too. Marlo is struggling to put a shoe on Jonah. We see that Jonah is likely autistic, and it's a struggle.
Yes, I think he is. They don't mention it.
In fact, they almost go out of their way not to mention. It's like, what year did this come out?
Yeah, it came out when in 2018, 2017.
Exactly. So autism had pretty much been at that point. The spectrum had already been like established. So it makes you wonder, like maybe when they wrote this,
maybe Diablo was aware of it but didn't know what it was.
Maybe. But yeah, they never even so much as mentioned. Like she mentioned the word retarded, but they don't mention autistic. I was like, But yeah, who knows what the story is there?
Yeah, but I think you're right. At that time, was it prevalent? I don't think it was, no?
2019, definitely prevalent. Definitely. I have no doubt.
Was this in 2019?
Yeah, 2018, my bad. Infinity War time period. Yeah. This was a thing.
Yeah, it was, you're right. But obviously, they didn't write this movie in I don't think they wrote it in 2018. They probably wrote it earlier than that.
Maybe, maybe that's what it is. Maybe. But
maybe.
yeah.
Or maybe they said, no, we're not, don't use that word.
We're not going to try and play with fire. Maybe they thought if you just leave that alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're having meeting at school, and they discover that Jonah is struggling in class, and that Jonah needs a child aid. Yes. But she has to arrange. Despite everything she's going through, it was a nightmare just to park the car. So you just...
Dude. Yo, man. You know, for some reason, I understand Jonah as a character.
Yeah.
I feel like I was slightly like that when I was a kid. But with me, I don't know what to call it. I wouldn't call it autism, but I have a thing of, I'll give you an example. If I snap my fingers like that twice on my right hand, I needed to balance it out and snap twice with my left. But because I snapped twice with my left, I still felt the need to continue with this one. So I'll go like that for hours, though. And that's just that's just one example of the stuff and it still happens today, man.
OCD?
I wanted to say that I have ultimately understood that it's OCD. But because like at the scene where he said, no, let's go to the other parking lot.
Yes.
I feel like, no, he's already fulfilled by being here. So he wants to now go to the other side.
Definitely, man. I can see that. That's cool, man. But yeah.
You need to even understand your parent, eh? Otherwise you're screwed, bro.
Absolutely, man. That's a nightmare. So the kids get dropped off. 8 minutes in, the kids get dropped off. We're sitting alone at the coffee shop when Marlo bumps into a girl named Violet. And the conversation is quick, but it seems to really have an effect on her.
Yes.
And then it disappears. They arrive at the brother's house, and it's a mansion.
Dude.
We meet Elise and Craig. We get a bit of a vibe of Marlo, who's Marlo's a sarcastic kind of person, which is Diablo Cody's kind of style of writing. Like if you watch Juno again, you can see.
Yeah, so Juno was like that. Yeah, Juno was definitely like that. Yeah, but you said it's Elise, right? The wife, the brother's wife.
Brother's wife is Elise, yes, and Craig. Yeah.
You could tell this guy married a young woman because she didn't get some of the references that Marlo was saying.
Yeah. Yep.
And it seemed like she was also struggling to read the room at times.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing that makes me think about the time period of this thing, because why is she so awkward saying, that the kid is autistic? You know what I mean? Like, they were all sensitive and stuff like that. Like, you think it was shot in the 90s or something.
But I get it, because sometimes when you know something that is obvious, just saying it out loud makes it awkward.
Yeah.
And it makes it seem like, when there's something wrong with the kid, but you saying there's something wrong with the kid upsets the parents.
Of course.
And I like how Marlo's husband was like, yeah, no, we're trying to find an aid. Like he was trying to salvage the situation, like quickly,
Yeah.
putting out this fire quickly.
Yeah.
And then the conversation flowed eventually. I was like, whew, nice save, bro.
Like they use the word quirky, don't they, at some point, which is funny because she goes against the word quirky later on. I just thought that was interesting. It's like quirky, but yeah. Things are very awkward in this conversation. And then and they talk about the whole aid thing. And then Marlo and Craig sit together. They're talking about night nannies. Craig is trying to help, as we have seen already. It is something that this is a night nanny is something that they need. It's a very, and we get some great visuals to show how she's struggling. She's of course she's completely against the idea of a night nanny, despite the fact that we've already seen ourselves that this thing is tough for her. Like this is
extremely tough. And there's just something that I wanted to mention, which is a scene. It's very short, but I feel like there's impact there. They show us what the kids are actually doing during this entire moment with their nanny and what's his name again, the kid?
Jonas. It's Jonah and Susan and
Sarah. Jonah trying to get, like, he only eats chicken wings apparently, and then the the babysitter just traumatizes everybody. Like,
I was like, what is it even about?
I think she's probably like a vegan or something.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
What was she eating anyway? Because the way she was explaining it to me, it just sounds like she's probably like a vegan or something.
Yeah. It looked like kiwis. And even then, it looked like he had tentacles coming out of it. So I mean, just weird kiwis. Yeah.
So I think that's why you're right. I think Diablo was sensitive about all these topics that she was hitting. Instead of actually addressing them for what they are, she was sensitive. It's like, okay, I know the viewer knows what this is, so I'm not going to say it. They're smart enough to read between the lines that this lady's a vegan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to waste time. So I think it's a movie that tries to get in and out pretty quickly. Yes. They end up going home, and then her water breaks, which is done in a very interesting way, very unique. Because as she wakes up, she sees the water running down her legs. We see them relaxing in the car. They chill in the hospital. Then suddenly an intense childbirth, and it's done. And it's like the fastest birthing period ever. Yeah. But you can kind of tell, so you can just look at her, and you can see something's up. And she doesn't want to hold the baby. Like when Elise is like holding the baby and like, we got to go. Yes. She's like, nah, just put the baby over there.
But you know what I thought when I saw that scene? Because I saw exactly what you just explained now. But in my head, I'm like, you know what? She did all the work. 9 months. That 9 months is what, like, she look. You can judge her all she wants, but she did most of the work for that 9 months, and she pushed. So if she doesn't want to hold the baby, please, you have to understand.
Yeah, and it's not like it's just after the birth. It's like probably a day later. So no need to rush. Right. So yeah, we see an interesting older conversation. I like where you kind of see the brother and sister's perspective, where the brother's like, that husband hates me. And it's like, I thought that was really funny. Yeah. They're both the guys are like, yeah, that guy hates me. And the other one's like, yeah, no, that guy hates me. I thought that was really funny.
I really don't get why they think that they hate each other.
Because they're awkward around each
other. I got that vibe, yes. But I feel like, I don't think they hate each other. I think they just don't click.
Well, I think it's the money thing. Because the one guy the brother keeps forgetting what this guy does for a living, number one.
Yeah.
and then number two is like...
I like how you said it. You remember last time you told me about the... the...
Exactly. And it's like, oh, okay. And then when like... The other guy's like, yeah, no, my money. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole money. I think it's a money thing.
Right.
That's what it is. That causes this thing where where the husband thinks that Drew thinks Craig is looking down on him.
Yes.
And then Craig thinks that Drew hates him because of his money.
Yes.
Hates Craig because of his money. So I just think that's funny. But
it's just guys and their egos, dog.
Yeah, man, it's
what it is.
Hey, but then again, don't forget about the girls where it's like, oh, so you're judging me.
Because also like Tully and Elise don't seem to get along either. So.
At all, because they're like fake smiling with each other, and Tully is being sarcastic.
Passive aggressive AF, bro.
Dog. And then you see when they're not looking at each other, things like, oh, so she's judging me because I don't want to use a night nurse because I want to use a night nurse.
Dude,
yeah, I thought that was funny.
It's super realistic, dog.
But yeah, 23 minutes in, we follow a montage of her raising her child as she sleeps during the day, does all the child rearing things while trying to keep things together. And you can kind of see that things are falling apart. And you can see that it's killing her. And as things are kind of falling apart, the scenes are shooting faster and faster and crazier as she's barely able to keep up. There's messes everywhere. Then 26 minutes in, the montage ends at the principal's office one more time.
Sorry, before you get there, what really caught my attention about this movie was the trailer. So the trailer starts with her typing on her phone, then the phone dropping on the kid. But in the trailer, the kid cries. Oh, flip. So yeah, even in these montages, that's where you see that scene with the phone and the phone falling on the kid. Yeah, that was pretty realistic.
Yeah, it was.
It's one of those things that you don't really write down as a writer, but it was there. I was like, oh, flip.
Oh yeah, it's funny stuff like that. Like when Louis C.K. was talking about once when he was dealing with his two kids, and he pushed his pram. He was trying to put his kid on the pram and put the one kid in the pram, and then go fetch the other kid from the car, and then he accidentally put the kid right in front of the exhaust pipe. So the kid's just getting.
Oh no!
Just in the kid's face.
Oh, flip.
So things like that happen.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, the montage ends at the principal's office again. We're back. I like the recycling of scenes. We've discussed this before, like District 9, where you recycle a location.
Yes.
Do that 3 times in this one. The principal is removing Jonah from the school because they haven't gotten the aid for him yet. We learned that it was a special school that Craig got them into, but they just can't do more. So Marlo absolutely flips her shit and just yells at the principal and ends up just screaming in the car. And she just
the principal is like, no, we're not expelling him. It's just a dismissal.
Oh, you're firing me?
Yeah, it's like
it's The Apprentice. And I fired.
Where's Donald Trump? Can Donald Trump just say we are fired? And she loses her crap to a point where she says, "This is how I usually am."
Yeah, this is who I am.
You see this rage? This is how I usually am. I'm just kissing your ass because of my brother. But otherwise, this is how I am, okay? I'm like,
Beautiful. And then she still bumps the kid into the air conditioner. And she's like, and the kid does the kid cry, I think. Can't remember if the kid cries. She's like, no, she's fine. And then she runs away. Yeah. Oh my God, I just love that so much. But then, yeah, this is now she's beaten up, wiped out, exhausted. Meanwhile, Drew waltzes in from work, looking fresh as the morning sun, dog. He's fine.
Because to him, his part of the deal is comes back from work.
Yeah.
He helps the kid with the homework. He does certain things. It's not like he's not doing anything.
Yeah, they do show that he doesn't do that. That it's not a case of nothing.
Yeah.
But it's really a case of not enough.
Yes.
They got away.
Yes.
Because, this is obviously a way. It shows a divide in the share of work. They try to show how this shows how difficult her work is.
I think we'll talk about this later on. Let's go.
They finally give in and they call the night nanny. It's the evening where we see her watching TV when Tully comes in. She's young, thin, vibrant, and sincere, and a 100% contrast between her and Marlo.
Everything is aesthetically pleasing. She has nice firm, a nice firm chest and a nice firm butt, and you know what I'm saying? Because she's busy eyeing her, like she's looking at these things. I think she even asks her, like, "How old are you?" Like, you know, like, and she says, "I'm old enough." It's like, eh.
Yeah. The close-ups go out of their way to show this, by the way. Like they show a close-up of her stomach, they show a close-up of her back, and they've been doing the same thing for Charlize as well, where they've just been showing how like her belly and her sides.
Yeah, like her breasts are all saggy now, and. But you see, what I think about this is they didn't make it a story about a woman who just gave birth being jealous of the nanny because she's afraid that the nanny is going to take her husband.
Yeah.
It was more about these two people.
Yeah. Well, I would even say it's more about just Marlo, because Tully's a support in that whole situation. But yeah, I agree with you. It is basically about them. And I love it so much.
I mean, I think also the husband does have a subplot of sorts, if you really think about it.
Oh, yes. I mean, it hinges on the husband at the end. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like the third act slowly creeps into what's the husband.
Sort of. Yes, I agree with that. But yeah, we see Marlo is struggling to deal with Tully because they've got two different energies here.
Yes.
But she finally lets go and she leaves the kid behind. Meanwhile, Drew is playing Xbox, playing Gear. Ironically, fun fact, Mackenzie was actually in, like we mentioned, they're playing Gears of War and Mackenzie was in Gears of War. So I thought that's a little interesting tie together.
It's like an Easter egg or sorts.
Yeah. Anyway, she's playing Xbox, which is not helping the situation at all.
Yeah.
35 minutes in, she's driving Jolo to school. When he starts kicking the chair, she tells him to stop, only for him to appear right next to her. And she's like freaking out, and we hear screeching brakes, like there's about to be a car crash. When she's woken up by Tully for breastfeeding time, which is interesting with the whole car crash thing. Definitely thought that was interesting with the whole tension there.
Mm-hmm.
This is very.
Wait, was it dreaming or was that just an earlier scene?
Yes, that was a dream.
Okay. It
was a dream. Tully even helps her open up her bra, which is surprising even for Marlo. And Tully just watches like it's the greatest TV show in the world, which is pretty creepy for Marlo.
Speaking of that, I think we didn't mention that she keeps watching this reality show, the Gigolos. I don't even know if that's a real thing.
I don't know if it's real. I hope it's not.
I hope it's not either, because what the hell? That is like porn straight up.
Yep. Like, it's so weird how R-rated this movie is, like, for no reason. Like, wow.
Dude, like, it's subtle. The R rating is subtle. Like,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. But anyway,
I tell that it was not written by a pervert, if that makes sense.
I hear you.
Because I didn't feel, like this, like some movies, when you see such scenes, you'd get aroused because you can tell the way it's written for that, to get that reaction. This, for me, I didn't feel like that at all. I just felt like it was just a tired mom who's just watching this series because she finds it interesting for some reason.
Yeah, it's a metaphor for how dead their sex life is. Because she basically goes to the bedroom and sleeps. So, nothing's happening. And he's not even trying as well. You know what I mean?
No.
So I think that's her saying, I wish more was happening right now. But yeah, she wakes up to see a house cleaner than ever. And my gosh, is the house clean. Like, it's like a different house entirely.
Yeah.
It's something new and they can't believe it.
The daughter's like, why is the house clean? What did you say? Who
why is it clean, mommy? And it's like, Jesus. Well, fuck you.
It's bad when the kid makes such comments, dog.
Dog. It's like, oh, fuck this kid. No. In fact, there's even another one where, what is that? Where the kid says, is mommy pregnant again or something like that?
It's like, why do you look like that? Like, why is your belly? Something like that. I'm like, yo, kids.
Yeah, when the kid spills the milk on her shirt and it's like, pain. You know what that moment of like,
Before that scene, that's when the husband comes in and is like, oh, frozen pizza, nice. I'm like, this nigga.
Yeah, you could be helping out here. They're having microwave broccoli, dog. Microwave broccoli and pizza. This is the most disgusting combination I've ever heard in my life. Not even like broccoli in the pizza. No, separate broccoli.
You know what that is? That's when you're trying to console yourself that you're eating something healthy.
Yes.
This junk, this huge junk that you're about to consume. At least you're having broccoli. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you'll notice all the kids are on their phones as well. The two girls are on their phones. The girl and the boy are both on their phone playing. They had nothing but pizza and broccoli. And Drew tries to make some comments, but you can tell that Marlo is too tired to be hearing this.
Yeah, no, she almost gave him the Hermione look, and that whole comment about her reading and books.
Yes. This is the death stare, because there's no time, and I get it, and I love it so much. But anyway, when you get to the clean house, right, there's kind of a little some optimistic music starts to play, and you got good vibes that, okay, maybe this is working out. 39 minutes in, it's a new night, and Charlie's back, and we finally get a close up on the reality TV show as she tries to explain, and then Tully's excited to learn about the reality TV show, which is something that Marlo likes, and with all this positivity, it throws her off. It throws Marlo off. Like, no matter what weird thing Marley says, Tully is just like Miss Positive, even talking Marlo into kissing the baby goodnight. There's energy. Drew is still playing Xbox. We are not on Drew's side. We are painting this guy as this on another world.
Right.
Anyway, she's dreaming of being underwater when she wakes up, and she's being watched by Tully once again, just being stared at.
Also, that underwater thing is another. You could say it's another foreshadowing.
Yeah, relevant. Because I think it has. What's nice about that kind of foreshadowing is when you watch it the first time, it has a different meaning. You could say she's in over her head.
Yes, like she feels like she's sinking. She's overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it could just mean she's literally underwater, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a nice way of using a line like that. Anyway, Tully and Marley start having a talk about the kids. They talk about Sarah and Jonah. She talks about herself. There's a moment where she thinks Tully is calling her empty, but that's actually just her. Her hearing things wrong. And what makes it worse is that she low-key agrees with the line, and you're just like,
bro. And that's when she's like, no, I just meant you're empty. Your breasts are empty. You don't have milk anymore. Try using the other breast. Yeah. Which was great. Chef's kiss.
It was a nice moment.
Yeah.
Because I did that little shot where she like remember I talked about a frame within a frame, where like you see inside that like gap over here. I thought that was nice, like the little thing. That was a very nice shot. Anyway, just to remind, like you get reminded that that Charlize does actually have a job. She's working HR, but you kind of forget about it because you forget that she's actually on maternity leave right now.
Yeah, like that's the conclusion that I got. That because initially I thought she's just like a full-time mom.
Yes.
Then I realized that no, she's just on maternity leave.
Yes. But yeah, there's a nice moment where Tully promises to help. And then we're suddenly 45 minutes in. This movie happens fast, by the way. Like it's so funny how like when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, I'm expecting a 3.5-hour movie about a plastic bag starring Charlize Theron. That's what I thought you were gonna show me. Then when it said this movie is 95 minutes, I was like, what are you talking about? Like imagine Die Hard is 2 hours, but this is 95 minutes. Like, yeah. But anyway, we're on a midpoint high. Things are really working out with Tully. And starting to have a little faith in this girl. And she's getting used to her. Now, this is the story point where you expect things to take a turn. And I really did. I think the first time I watched this, I'm like, okay, shit's about to hit the fan at this point.
Yeah.
Midpoint high means it's time to go down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? X-Men First Class. It's when Magneto shows up at their base and basically kills Darwin, stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh, so it's been Sebastian Shaw, yes.
Yes. So that's what you're expecting to happen. But at this point of the story, yeah, okay, cool. And this is what I was gonna say. This is what I wrote. This is one of those Kutso less than conventional stories that you get. The typical Kutso pick. Where you're like, oh, okay, I guess the plot elements are about to kick in, and then it doesn't. They wake up in the morning and there's cupcakes waiting. This is tied to her saying a good mom does all the extracurricular activities, and she's never come close to doing anything like that. And for once, she gets to be that parent, and it's a great moment for her. She's good. She's in such a good place that she even finds it in herself to apologize to the principal.
Right.
The music again is optimistic and slow. We see Drew is helping with homework. So he's not doing nothing. Like you said, he's helping with homework and stuff like that. So he's not doing nothing. Now,
No, definitely. I guess it's just, if you were to compare, that's where it becomes a bit of an issue. But at the same time, maybe let me just say what I wanted to say earlier. Drew has a 9 to 5, so he's assuming that she has more time to be doing everything else. That's why he's so oblivious, because he would be like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Exactly.
And I think she's to blame to a certain degree because she's not communicating as much.
Definitely.
I mean, she does say she's tired here and there, hence the whole night nanny thing, but what do you expect him to do? Because he has to go to work.
Exactly.
And he needs like his quiet, chill time. Look, I don't want people to be like, "How dare you? Like, you're so insensitive." No, I just feel like from his perspective, he just thinks that she has more time during the day. And when he gets home after doing the homework, which is his role, then he can do his video games.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, she's cooking, but at the same time, no, I agree. There should be like a balance there. Now, at first, I thought this film saturation had changed, but what really happened, I even went back in the footage just to make sure. What ends up happening is that Charlize's makeup ends up improving, and the color in her face is what improves. So Marlo basically has color and joy in her life, and it shows up in her face. And
so the hue of the film doesn't change; it's just the makeup that enhances the.
Oh yes, the improvement. Because it's that she's changed. She's got color now. She's not drained and dead as she was in the beginning.
That's true. She's beginning to look like the Charlize Theron that we know.
Exactly.
Right.
See, she's like, this is working. 48 minutes in, we see Tully coming in, and the awkwardness from the start is completely gone. And I am still waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for shit to go wrong.
Right.
But things seem pretty good. And Tully's pretty comfortable enough to be eating out of the fridge and laughing with Marla.
Dude, the first thing she said when she gets in, she's like, "I'm hungry," opens the fridge.
God.
Was that a non? What the hell was that? Tastes that like yogurt. I don't know what that was.
I'm assuming it's yogurt as well. Anything else is disgusting. All I'm saying is, if I enter someone's fridge and I start saying I'm hungry, open the fridge, start taking things, I'm gonna end up with my life taken.
Dude.
You don't go into someone's fridge and start taking things out.
Yeah, but I guess times have changed. I had a friend who passed away last year, unfortunately, but I guess at a point when we were growing up, we used to do that. Like he would come home, because my grandmother and his grandmother were close friends. Like close. I think they were even best friends.
Oh.
So I guess we were just comfortable to do stuff like that at each other's places. So he would come and open the fridge. And that's not a problem.
That's crazy, man. Condolences, first of all. But that's on another level, man. Damn.
Yeah.
I can't even open my own family's fridge.
Bro, like even changing picking up the remote to change the channel is a big thing for me to this day, dog.
Right?
Some people don't care. They just come in, Like, dude, you come from wherever you come from, and people are watching Big Brother. Chill. Let them watch
Oh,
it.
God.
You want to watch your super sport.
Yeah, both are
Crazy.
terrible choices in my eyes. But anyway, yeah, we see Drew is packing to leave. The setup business trips from the dinner from before is finally coming into play. Drew asks about her, is she okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. Because of course she says that. And then he jumps straight into playing Xbox. No hesitation.
I mean, if you said you're okay, then okay.
What must happen? I smell that you're lying to me.
Dude. But also, the lack of sex is understandable. She was not trying to look attractive for Drew, dog.
And also, didn't you just push a baby through your vagina like this week? Are you sure you want to? Should sex even be on your mind?
Because that's what she says, right? To Tully. When
No,
they talk about that sex discussion.
Yeah, when they have the sex discussion, she says she can't switch gears from being mommy mode to being MILF mode. She can't really switch gears like that.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, 15 minutes in, it's a new morning. She wakes up alone. The hubby's gone. She's taking a kid to the new school for the first time, and the kid freaks out by the sound of a toilet flushing. And it becomes a whole thing. But then a teacher shows up and kind of helps him out.
That guy looks familiar, by the way. I just don't know where I've seen him from, but he does.
I thought it was the redhead from Grey's Anatomy, but it's not. But yeah, I thought that was surprising as well. And it's like a random scene with the teacher. Like, who are you?
Dog, I would actually get to know this guy more, but no.
I'm expecting it to be a plot point.
Yeah.
Not even close.
No.
Let me see if I can. 1 second.
No problem.
I guess he's not here. I was hoping to see if I could catch him, a picture of this guy. But no pictures of this guy. But yeah, he shows up and I'm like, oh, okay, here's what's about to happen. We're about to find out the school is terrible. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. School is terrible. It's about to get really bad here. Because I'm waiting for things to happen. The thing that needs to happen must happen. Right. And then Kitchen plays it ends well. Oh, okay. That worked out.
Right.
52 minutes in, it's night. Tully comes in, and now they're playing around with each other. We get a montage of time passing really well. Drew even comes back inside of the montage. And we kind of see there's a massive change here. She looks better. The microwave broccoli and pizza is gone. Yes. Staring at the phone is gone. They're all playing with each other. They're talking to each other. The kids are talking. It is amazing, the shift. We see a little moment where Sarah's doing her hair, doing Marlo's hair. And they're talking. The next day, she's even exercising and tries to compete with a kid. Like, I thought that was funny and terrible and cringy. And she's just like, and it's like, milk. And the kid's like,
are you okay?
Like, I was disgusted.
Yeah.
That little girl was disgusted.
But you could see that those insecurities were really messing up with her, because why are you trying to compete with a kid who's a firm butt and
I hope it's skilled as the jogging chick, but yes, I agree. Pardon? You're not talking about the jogging one, right?
I thought that's what we were talking about.
Oh no, I was talking about the scene with the jogging, but no, both count. You're right. In both situations, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Except for but anyway, yeah. There's this element of wanting to be young again.
Yeah, well, except for the non-jogging scene, yeah. But you're right, yeah.
And then Tully comes back that night, and they're chilling in the hot tub. They start talking about their sex lives, or rather her lack of a sex life. They talk about how to turn Drew on and Drew's kinks, and you find out that Drew is turned on by waiters' outfits. Now, when you rethink the scene...
What the hell? From the cafeteria when he was a kid in school?
Well, those diners.
Yeah, those diners. Oh, wait, was it diners? Was it
Yeah.
not from the cafeteria in school though?
Like
Oh,
the
just a normal diner, like a normal waitress at a diner.
like Pulp Fiction
Yeah.
or
Yes.
what, doesn't it happen in
It
Street
happens in so many movies, dog.
Archie
Pardon?
the Archie TV series?
I've never,
Rivendell.
I've never really watched Riverdale, but
I know there's
we're
a
both
guy.
we're definitely on the same page. I just don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never watched it either. But anyway, it turns
Two
out that
broke girls, for instance. Two
huh?
broke girls. Have you watched Two Broke Girls?
Yes, maybe two broke girls. Yes.
Yeah.
Turns out that Marla has the outfit, and Tully puts it on and makes a show for Drew. Now I remember thinking, oh shit, I guess this is where the problem comes. When we find out that Drew is about to go after the nanny, because that's the cliche. So ironically, this moment is kind of hilariously tense for me because I'm like, okay, so here's where the tension, here's where the problem comes. After this, you're gonna find out that Drew is like,
he's gonna want the divorce or whatever, right?
Exactly. Because we see many ways this can go wrong. Like it's like playing with matches, dog. Anyway, this happens, and then they get together while Marlo watches, and I am shocked and amazed. Then the next morning, Drew is still blown away, unsure of how to even react as the kids show up. Like from having no sex to a college kid you've never actually met. I should have realized here, a college kid you've never actually met showing up in front of you.
And your wife says it's fine.
Dog, where the wife's like, it's fine, yeah. Another story, we know exactly, okay, we're like, okay, maybe this way this is going. You know, like, okay, here's where the negative vibes kick in.
Yeah.
No, we're at the rich kid's birthday party. We see Sarah doing karaoke. We really see how much better
song that they're singing was huge. Like I don't know how many movies this song is sang in, dog. Like, yeah, this song was a huge bang. Here's my number. Call me maybe. Yeah. I just met you. This is crazy. Here's my number. Call me maybe. Oh my goodness.
Insane. Anyway. This is the Ben Shapiro version. Here's my number. Call me maybe. You know what That's my favorite.
The Alan Rickman version.
Yes. Yes. I'm not good with voices. But I love that shit. Where like you do like a posh British accent and it can make any rap lyric sound great.
Right.
I love that shit. But anyway, now this is very interesting because for the first 30 minutes, first 30 minutes is of Marla breaking down. In the next 30 minutes, because remember we're 1 hour in, have been how the Tully situation is working out. Right? So first 30 minutes, Act 1, Marla breaking down. Act 2, Tully fixing everything, like improving life. So now I'm like, oh, okay, first half, second half. Okay, here comes third half, where things get bad. So I am still waiting for the other shoe to drop. And you kind of get the idea that, okay, shit's about to go down, because you look at Drew's face, and you can kind of feel like he's something that he doesn't like here. But like, you can tell he's worried about something, because the locks on his face. Everyone else like, wee! And Drew's like,
I think this is when he started realizing that, man, something is off.
Yeah. And then, nope. Turns out we're all nonsense. Marlo is more patiently and happy, and she plays with the kids. Because, I think something happens again. Oh, the kids are dealing with the lights. And she just doesn't even get frustrated. She just plays with the kids. Doesn't matter. Right. Then Tully comes in a rush, dressed in all black, which is new for her. She's having relationship issues with her roommate. And you're like, uh-oh. And it's Marlo who comes in clutch with the life advice, which makes you wonder now, whose advice was that for? Violet or for Drew? But anyway, I'm assuming it's a Violet situation. Oh, shit, it is Violet. Oh, shit, it is. I'm only
please break that down for me. I need to understand where you're coming from.
Okay. Tully comes in energetic, upset, dressed in all black. She's frustrated because she's having problem because the roommate gets upset every single time she brings a guy over, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And if you remember earlier, they had a discussion about her, about Tully, about Marley when she was older, also bringing lots of guys over.
Yes.
This was at the hot tub, right?
Yes.
So now you think about this, and then you remember that Violet was upset about all these guys over, right? Having all these guys over, right?
And how Tully said that she's in more than one relationship.
Yes. Well, I'm with a bunch of guys. But
Yes.
in a later, I'll remind you of it later on because this comes back.
Right.
So now she starts to give advice, and then Tully's like, fuck it, let's go out. So they go out, and they leave the kid with Drew because Drew is. And we go on a shockingly long montage. Like, this montage is honestly ridiculous.
Dude, like, they basically go through Cyndi Lauper's entire album.
Dog. To track 1 to track 12 of classic CDs.
Dog, like, the whole album played.
Dog. But they finally get there. And they order drinks and they hang out. And they even go on a rave. Ending with them playing jukebox. And then the Violet situation gets brought up. And then she says that there's a quick moment, there's a quick 1-2, where she says that she loved Violet.
Who says it?
Marlo says, I loved Violet, and that's exactly the moment where when then finally the other shoe drops and Tully says that she's leaving. Marlo freaks out completely. Like, she starts freaking out, starts grabbing her. I thought it was grabbing her side, but it turns out she's grabbing her boobs. But yeah, she freaks out. She steals a bicycle. Like, dude. Just out here going full Hulk mode. And then Tully's got a bicycle with pizzas still on it. Like, those are pizza trays, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And she just takes off. Tully's bicycle has like a thing on top of it, right? And like, aren't those pizzas? It was like this. And like, that's a pizza.
So it's a pizza delivery guy's bike.
Yes.
But what was he doing at a club, though?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what delivery he was making at that time. But I just thought that was a weird thing to show. But anyway, they run straight to Violet's house and start pressing a button. And Tully's like, don't do this. But anyway, yeah. And it's like, no, they freak out.
Yeah, because Marlo's like, but I thought this is what you wanted. I don't understand.
And at first, you're right. She's like, this is what you wanted. And it's so funny because I think at this point, one could argue that maybe Marlo didn't know, but definitely within this conversation that makes no fucking sense the first time you hear it. Mm-hmm. The conversation when she presses the buzzer makes no sense. Second time, it makes perfect sense. And
the first time you're like, I don't understand. Wait, what's going on? Yeah. But the second time you watch it, you're like, oh, okay.
And it sets up a lot of lore because it fills in a lot of gaps involving Violet and what she says about Drew. And the kind of sentence they kind of use at the end, which I think is a very interesting sentence. But I'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah. But then in mid-freak out, her boobs really start to ache.
Yeah.
Like, ache to the point of getting ridiculous. And she has to go to the bathroom in order to pump. And in the chaos, they have to try and stimulating the breastfeeding process with like a wet towel and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something you don't see every day. Credit for credit. That's something I didn't expect to see in a movie. Who knew it got that bad?
Hey, bro.
But finally, the crazy night ends with Marlo driving home with the both of them falling asleep while they're driving, which leads to Marlo driving straight into the river. She dreams of Tully being a mermaid and freeing her. The dream cuts out to the hospital, and Drew is being asked about her mental condition.
Oh, that was a dream. I thought there was what?
I thought the whole movie was a dream. You ever seen Repo Man?
Repo Man sounds familiar.
with Forrest Whitaker and Jude Law.
No.
With repossessed body organs. Fantastic movie. Definitely recommend it.
Okay.
But I was going to say very Repo Man vibes in the beginning. But then it turns out, then as Drew talks to the doctor about the night nurse, it turns out that no, she's been suffering from extreme lack of sleep and exhaustion.
Yes.
And it turns out that Tully was her maiden name. And that's kind of where we get a playback of her just sleeping, all these things that we saw in her own head. It's
the
just
first time I saw that,
yeah.
I was like, WTF?
Hmm.
Because he said it so chilled, you know, because obviously, like, he knows I made a name, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's Tully. Like, I was like, flip. But second viewing, when you see all those scenes where he was supposed to say something or he wanted to say something that was going to give the plot away, somebody cuts him off.
Yeah.
When Tully was on top and she was undressing and whatever, because he was like, Marlo, what? And she's like, shh, just go with it.
Yeah. And she like introduces herself. Remember, she like introduces herself.
Yes.
And she's confused.
Yes.
And so yeah, it turns out that Tully was actually her when she was young. But unlike Fight Club, it turns out that she had a semblance of awareness of the whole thing. Tully was a means to get through the most difficult part of a pregnancy, before the child is able to sleep an entire night and the earlier needs start to calm down.
It seems like is it what do you call it? Postpartum
depression.
Postpartum. I think that's what she was going through. So
yeah,
she basically just, you know, sort of like created Tully again so that she can deal with it, I guess.
Exactly, just like the Jennifer Lopez and the Woman King. What's her name again?
Viola Davis.
Here we go. They've got a movie together as well, where something very similar happens. Basically, Viola Davis's son dies in a shooting, and she tries to go to grief counseling, where she meets Jennifer Lopez there, and yeah, it's kind of how they all deal with their different ways of grief, and it turns into like an action movie. It's actually pretty decent. 6 out of 10, 5 or 6 out of 10. I would actually say you might like it.
Okay.
It has a plot though, so I don't know. I'm joking.
Right.
But anyway, it brings the whole ship of Theseus equation back into the question. Because the ship of Theseus is the thing they were discussing in the bar. And we see that Tully is the old ship and Marlowe is the new ship. Drew, upon seeing the condition of his wife, breaks down and promises to do better, having been so overwhelmed by the pressure of his job. Because remember, things were tense for his job as well at that time.
Yes.
Him being oblivious the entire time. And he does. We see a follow-up montage. Yes. And he does. And see them doing better.
But I still think she should have spoken. Like, you assuming that your partner is aware of what's going on and he should do better without you telling him or her is the worst way to handle something like that.
Definitely. I think you should communicate, you should be able to set boundaries, you should be able to set what you need, be able to express your needs. But
should it take you to go to hospital for your partner to realize that you were overwhelmed?
Exactly. But you also have to remember this. I think what's happened is this is the story. I think Violet is the love of Marlowe's life.
Yes, she is. No, you're right. I don't even think it's an I think thing. She is.
Which is why I think she's so quiet, because in a way she's just used to dealing with it. Like when Tully and them were talking, I was like, okay, so what is Drew? Is he like, which race? They're like, I used to bring a bunch of race horses to my house. Do you know what I mean? I used to ride a lot of horses, you know, or guys. And she was like, okay, what was he? And she's like, he was like, hot damn, dog. Damn.
He was not even a jockey or anything. No. It's the bench. Like a safety net, basically.
Yeah.
She settled for him.
Way beyond settled, yeah. And then, like, And it's so funny because Tully's like, yeah, but you got this perfect life because having stability is a cool thing to have. I thought that was a cool line by Tully. And it kind of ties directly to her life. And also, I like the fact that they don't, at the end, when the two of them are talking, and when Drew and Marlo are talking, they don't really say, I love you. They say, I love us.
Yes.
Is the perfect thing to have said there. The relationship that they have, that works for them. And they've grown into it, and it's comfortable now.
But also at the same time, I often wonder why women like a Tully would do something like that to themselves. This smart girl who just used to spat random facts about anything.
Yeah.
Was highly sexual and seemed to be like a free spirit, and obviously maybe all that behavior was because she had 3 stepmothers. That's fine. But she mentions that as Marlo.
Yeah, I
But
think the problem is, yeah.
I just feel like there's just a serious
Here's a piece of dialogue.
turn, man. Drastic turn.
No, it is. But remember, there's a dialogue where Marlo says, right now you think what you're doing is cute. But then you're going to hit your 30s. You're going to hit your 40s. And
Yes.
then all the little things you're doing that you think is cute, everyone's going to hate them. All that shit's going to disappear. And you're going to be stuck. And I think that's what happened, man. I think...
Yeah. When I was looking at the scene, I just thought of us. I was like, okay, Rob and I are in our 30s. Can we relate to this?
Doug, I was never cute. I was basically like Morgan Freeman. I had an old man face. So I'm not the guy for this.
No, I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to outgrowing things, not necessarily the looks part. Yeah, I'm also the Morgan Freeman thing, but I'm talking about like...
Of course.
Because Tully says, I'm just learning French. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you don't go beyond greetings. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't know if you had certain things that you had to now let go of now that you're in your 30s.
Like drawing. I used to try and draw. And then at some point when you're a guy's drawing, it becomes less cute in your 40s when there's nothing coming from it. You know what I mean? There's no end result. You know what I mean? Even this whole thing that we're doing. If we hit 40 and then we haven't achieved X amount of achievement over the course of so many years, people will ask you, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? It's not cute.
Speaking of that, there's a podcast, like it's my favorite South African podcast, actually. It's called the Dojo Podcast. And one of the guys there was saying that one of the tweets that he got, because like they were just getting burned that day because they were just commenting on a story, and yeah, things just went awry with him and one of his calls. And one of the comments that they got was, you talk a lot for a guy who's 40 with a struggling podcast or something.
You see what I mean? The shit's not cute. It's not cute. It's not adorable. It's not sweet. It's not cute. It's not adorable. So, yeah, but that's the point. All these things come together so nicely.
Oh, shit. So I have 5 years. If this doesn't blow in 5 years, it's not cute anymore. Oh.
Right side, we still look younger than a lot of these old people, so we'll make it.
That's true. I mean, even the guy looks young still, so, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. So we got more time than these millennials do.
Yep.
And then it kind of just ends with them kind of like finding a positive vibe together.
Doing the dishes, him basically repenting.
And it just kind of ends.
It just ends. Well, that's after Marlo and Tully basically just
have a conversation where they say goodbye to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Say their goodbyes, yeah.
Which is beautiful.
For me, the entire message of this movie is men do more. Your wives are going through a lot. You know, there's a wise woman that I know who once said, sometimes, like when you just gave birth, I'm just gonna paraphrase what she said. When you just gave birth, even if you're married, you still feel like you're alone as a mother. And that really hit me hard, man. So I felt like I started understanding what she meant when I watched this movie the second time. I was like, oh, because the husband was there, but she still felt alone. That's why Tully had to manifest in her life.
Now, there's actually an interesting fun fact about this. An interesting thing about that, I think, that none of us ever talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That the night nurse thing actually makes sense because you're not supposed to be alone with your husband. Not
Yes.
really. You're not
Yes.
supposed to. The fact that
Yes.
you want a sister, a brother, a mother, a grandmother, a
Yes.
cousin, it's
Yes.
because we've somehow, culturally, I think, I can't remember who said it, right? But I remember someone saying to me, I was watching a podcast, I think, and they were talking about how what's strange in the world is what we're all doing now. That's strange.
Yes.
That's the strange thing.
Being secluded. So someone, I also watched a podcast, I think yesterday or today even, where someone was, it was today, someone explaining how the world has, or rather society has created this, I guess you could say, this era of people living in vacuums.
Yeah.
And because of that, it no longer takes a village to raise a child. You're on your own.
You're on your own.
And
then we're confused when Asians do well. Because
yes,
grandparent is there, the parents are there, there's a thing. Because you have to remember something, arranged marriages were the normal for like 100,000 years. Your village came together and helped you decide who you're going to marry. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they helped you decide, helped you look after your kids because it was all one thing.
Right.
This whole marrying for love type thing is maybe 200 years old out of like 100,000 years, out of 20,000 years.
Right.
Then, of course, that's just one level. The level of you leaving your house at all, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Out already having blown up or some shit like that to do your own thing. That's maybe 50 years?
Right.
60 years, maybe?
And for the most part, it has proven to be a dismal failure. If you think about it holistically, because you have people who pass away in flats and nobody knows that they've passed away. They only find out like 5 days later because there's a stench. You find, kids who unfortunately pass away because they fall from balconies. You know what I mean? Like you get these because they're unsupervised and it's not like deliberate. It's just that the parent maybe it's not home yet and the child doesn't have daycare. So there's so many things, dog. And I think it's sad because yes, we're trying to get this African dream, I guess. And in the process, we end up, I guess you could say we're part libertarian because, like you're saying, we're marrying for love, which in itself is a flawed concept because people divorce like no one's business.
People change all the time. It's like that whole, it's exactly like the discussion they had with the ship of Theseus. People change all the time. Are you the same person you were at the beginning?
Hell.
No. So how can you even think that a marriage will last forever if there's no function of purpose inside the marriage?
Dude,
which is why
the guy that I am now versus the guy that I was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
If those two guys met and they were talking, they would like exchange notes about life, like love and marriage, and
they wouldn't blink.
It would be like, what the hell happened to you?
That's why I think there has to be 3 people in a marriage: you, the girl, and a higher power. I don't know whatever you believe in, but that higher power should be the compass that locks you guys together because you're gonna change as people.
100%.
But you need a third party, ideally a higher good. I think Jordan Peterson talks about like a higher good. Obviously, a higher power would be better, but a higher good that manages to keep you guys at the
just a neutral objective higher power.
Yeah, a higher
Because
power, higher good.
what some people do is they place a couples therapist as the higher power or a pastor as a higher power.
Yeah.
And most of the time those people are biased, bro.
Yeah,
They might give you doctrinally sound stuff, but at the end of the day, they're human and maybe they're projecting. I mean, you wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. And now it's so funny. People always talk about like cyberpunk. I was actually thinking about this when I was watching this movie. I was like, about augmentations. Like, you seen Deus Ex or Cyberpunk, where they like replace your organs with like a robot part and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about when I say augmentation. Like, they replace your
like where you become like a cyborg, basically, like a ghost in the shell.
Yeah, you change body parts per se.
Yeah.
Instead of a thing you get like a robot leg or a robot arm or something like that, right? Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like, socially, we already live in that age. We already live in cyberpunk. Instead of a nanny, you get a TV. Instead of a
what?
Instead of a nanny, you get a TV.
Or you
cousin, huh?
Or YouTube.
Exactly. Or instead of a cousin picking up your kid, you get daycare. But all these little things that augment our lives, right?
That have substituted, yes.
That have substituted the village.
Yes.
So in a way, if you think about it, we already live in cyberpunk.
The biggest difference about that is the human connection, the sense of trust is not there. So this guy that I'm talking to you about, I don't know, was it Naval? Or was it Bukhosi? It's one of the two. Just because I watch a lot of stuff at the same time. But what he was basically saying is, I think it's Naval, man. You know Naval, right? One of the smartest guys in the world. So that guy says, Naval, I think it's Naval Ranvid something.
Anyway, yeah.
I think you know.
I don't know him.
Your facial expression.
Who is this? And why is it taking 10 minutes?
Oh, man. I think it's because it's an Indian name. Ravikant. Naval Ravikant.
Jesus, that sounds like swearing at me. Anyway, yeah.
Maybe it's Ravikant. I don't know. It's Indian. Well, I'm assuming he is. I don't know. But anyway, he was saying that, I think he's the one that was saying this, about what he was talking about, but ultimately he was saying that this whole ecosystem, this whole situation that we're in now, this socio-economic thing, has ultimately created a sense of fear for the individual, because it went from the village to you living by yourself in the city. Then instead of having friends, because your friends are also like in different complexes and whatever, now your friend has somewhat become like social media, right? But then there's also a sense of fear, because should anything happen, if you're hearing sounds or whatever outside or whatever, you're afraid of your life. That's why you pay so much money for security, or you would have high walls. And
yeah, because I want to do it to you, I can do it to you. It's done.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's done.
I think it was Naval that was saying something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing and adding my own things, but yeah.
But I just think the whole augmentation of stuff as a replacement to something that we already had, it's like building an artificial tree when you could just plant a seed.
Right. Yeah, that whole convenience thing, the whole instant gratification thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't even know how we got there.
We got there because we're talking about like why the whole Tully situation is so difficult. It's so like, because like we're putting so much pressure on Drew. When she's on leave, he still has a job that is apparently going through a tense time right now. Like, he has to do all these things. And it's like, okay, but why was there no one else?
And also, one could argue that him playing games is his way of, dealing with the stress that he's dealing with. Yeah.
And for all we know, Drew could be a very different person if he doesn't play those games.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yes. Drew could be very, very different. Because I know what I'm like when I don't sleep. If I don't sleep enough, I am brutal. If you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I'm like that as well. Like if I'm extremely drowsy and you're forcing me to be awake,
yes,
like through a conversation or whatever, I have to go somewhere and I really don't want to go anywhere. And I
yeah.
want to, yeah, yeah. Then I am.
So it could be a healthier experience. But now, can you say now? Obviously, the movie is designed to show that Drew could have done more, but but Tully is suffering in silence, on her own, really. Uh, but then as soon as, because one could argue, because you can't expect a guy to smell the chaos. Do you know what I mean?
You know, some people would say we sound like guys right now because I feel like whenever you say stuff like men are not mind readers, or when you say that, I mean, this can apply, it applies both ways anyway, because sometimes women go through a situation where a man is going through a lot, but they don't know what it is because the guy's not saying anything. It's the same thing.
True,
But
but remember this: on 3 separate occasions, he asks, "Are you
are you
okay?"
okay? Yeah.
Because he's willing to do stuff he doesn't like. He goes to the brother's dinner, the
Mm.
brother-in-law's dinner. Why? Because she wants to go there.
Yeah.
So you know he's willing to compromise for her.
Even he's been, I mean, the night
He's,
nanny thing, I don't think he was really into it, but it's like, okay.
and she loves him. So it's not like it's one of those, you know, it's funny. If this was on the internet, right, the comment section would be like, leave him, leave him. Have you seen those videos?
Yes.
Girl complain.
Why is she still with him?
Yeah.
Why
And
is
you're
she
like,
still,
guys, maybe there's more to this than you think. Do you know what I mean?
dude,
Are
if
you,
this entire movie was told from that guy's perspective, I promise you, people were gonna say leave her.
yeah. Yeah.
Because think about it, if we're focusing on this guy at his job, and then obviously the storyline is based on his work and the stress and whatever, and whenever he comes back home, he comes back home to a woman who is not even trying to look appealing. They're having, like, his kids are having frozen food and broccoli for dinner, and
Yes. And then the
do you get
house
what
is,
I'm saying?
so she's not cleaning. The clothes are dirty. The
Yes,
kids are eating junk food that took 5 minutes to make.
yes,
Uh, she looks a mess. I've just worked a 20-hour shift. I'm
yeah,
working a 50-hour week. You know,
yes. And I still have to do homework with
I
these
still have to
kids.
work with the kids. What exactly are you doing?
Exactly. You see what I mean?
Yeah. What exactly are you doing? So I
And
can see that going
you
strange.
ended up in the hospital because you were drinking and driving?
Yeah. But again, this guy is not a bad guy. I think that's what I like about this movie is that they're
Yes.
not painting a bad guy.
And I
They're
think
painting
that's why she
a guy
fell
who
in love
doesn't
with him.
see it. Huh?
I think that's why she fell in love with him. I think she fell in love with him because he understands her.
It's a good bench. He's a great bench. The best benches out there, just made with the best wood, best best varnishing, great bench.
But you know, the bench analogy is so messed up because usually people would say, look, I settled for the average horse.
Mhm.
No, no, not with her. She's like the look, he was not even a horse, dog.
Not
He's a
even on
whole
the
different
pitch.
bench.
Forget about what sport are we playing. He's not even on the pitch. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean? Forget about being a team player. He's not even playing the sport.
oh,
Yeah, that is wild. And I like the fact that Tully says, I'm leaving before she gets into the violent situation. Like she specifically says, I'm leaving. She cuts her off before she starts talking about Violet. And I think
yeah,
that's a deliberate choice to show that Marlowe's about to make a mistake.
yeah,
Marlowe's about to, her mind is drifting away from Drew,
yeah.
something else. And I think that is interesting. And I think that was that's an interesting choice.
You know, I like that bit of detail in this storytelling because I'm assuming that we all know people who are married but still have unresolved feelings for their exes.
Yeah. And then when you're going through a painful relationship, there's a point, I'm sure you probably felt this before with maybe one of your exes, where you realize, let's say you're having a relationship and something happens, or rather enough things happen where you just kind of look and you go, oh, I'm done here. Like, everything you're saying is stupid now. Everything you're saying is awful. You're not attractive. You're not, I'm listening to you talk and I hate it. I'm looking at you and I hate you. And just things start to go sour. And there's nothing you can do to turn the relationship around. And I think she was heading that way.
Yes, she was.
And that's while suffering in silence. Making excuses for no reason.
I wanted to get there. I genuinely think that the reason it gets to that point is not the main reason, it's not the only reason, but I think one of the major reasons it gets to that point, it's lack of communication.
Yeah.
The person who's feeling like that towards the other person usually is not saying what the other person has to be aware of. That's why you don't find them attractive anymore, whatever. And the person is like, what's going on? I don't understand. Like, okay, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like nothing.
Because again, you can't. I will take someone who shows me boundaries and talks to me about this stuff over someone who I must sniff out.
Yeah, same here.
I will always take that person first. So I think that's, to me, you know how you said this was a thing about negativity, about guys doing better? I don't think it is. I think it's a thing about communication and about showing the other perspective. Because I really do think one of the reasons I like anime is that anime likes to show like the detailed things. Let's say that it's a sports anime. People exaggerate every element of a sports anime to the point where you now know everything about that sport.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely.
Prince of Tennis, they exaggerate all these small things to the point where you now understand. And that's what I think, that's what Tully did. I think we've all known, oh yeah, motherhood is tough. Motherhood is tough. Do you know what I mean? You don't really know. And I think
you don't
Tully,
really know. Yeah.
You don't know, yeah. And I think Tully did a good job of showing how tough it is. I think it's not that Drew must do better, but I don't think we can reflect on because again, we don't really know. And Drew is our metaphor.
No, I agree. I think it still plays a role somewhere. Maybe it's not the main thing, but I think there is still, because I mean that's how it ends. It ends with him doing better. You know what I mean?
Now he knows.
Yes.
The second he knew is the second things changed.
Yes.
Because remember, he didn't try to make excuses. He didn't try to make anything. As soon in fact, he apologized immediately. He didn't make one excuse. Drew never said, "Oh, I didn't know." He didn't say anything like that. He apologized for not doing better because he didn't know. We know that he didn't know.
Yeah.
Because like with the whole book thing where he's like, "Oh, pizza and so." Remember, what he says is, "Oh, I thought you said this." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was like, what is it? He made a comment like,
yeah,
that was your
it's your rules that you set up.
Yes.
Yeah. So and then
so he didn't understand why she was being all weird about it. Yeah.
We understand. We were in the car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were in the car dealing with this child. So we understand. He wasn't in the car. So to me, this feels like a thing about communication.
No, ultimately that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most relationships fail. I remember I did a status, I think I even did it on Facebook, where I was saying things like K as in the letter K, a thumbs up, never mind, it's fine, it's nothing.
Yeah, those are fighting words, man.
Despite that, those are nothing.
Yeah, they're nothing.
They're nothing to people who like. They're nothing to people who like saying that communication is everything.
Yeah.
Person would say, or they believe that communication is everything, but a thumbs up is their way of dealing with conflict, which is cognitive dissonance right there. But
you can take the smallest thing to fall into that trap. You can just be like, I'm just being polite, so let me just say this thing. And then next thing you know, you start making it divide between a person, and the
Yes.
communication starts parting. All because you're trying to be polite. You know what I mean? Controlled honesty is what you really need. And by controlled honesty, what I mean is learn more words so you can choose your words better. And where you never have to lie.
Yeah. Look, I know all these things sound easier said than done.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's it's just that I don't know a lot of people who watch this movie. But if I was to show this movie to mothers, like
Yeah.
almost every mother you can think of, most of them will find it highly relatable.
I think so too, because I think it goes into the nitty-gritty.
And if I show this to a dad, some will be like, I understand this guy completely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway, guys.
Okay, wait. Let me do my sum up. Our scoring. Gotta do our scoring first.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this was a story I'm very up and down on. I loved Juno when I was younger, so I already had an understanding of Diablo Cody's style of writing, which is pretty much what I feel here. It's a positive story that's so positive I expected things to go bad, and that kept me paying attention. I can't imagine that's a movie you see more than twice, but it's definitely a perfect one-time experience, which is incredibly enjoyable, and the dialogue and filmmaking is actually great. So for me, it's a solid 7 out of 10 with a potential 8 out of 10.
I thought you were like a 4 or something. Okay.
Dude, it really hit me nicely. This is one of those Kutsa style plots, got to be there, some stories.
I still don't fully understand that, but okay. Okay.
Think about past lives. What did I say? Okay, there's got to be a plot. This story is light on plot points. Like, no, this happens, and then this happens,
and nothing happens.
Like, and then the holdovers.
Nothing happens in the holdovers as well, dog.
I'm not gonna say nothing, but it's more character-based stuff. It's not. It's character.
Yeah, that's true.
And your review?
Oh man, I'm gonna give it like an 8, man. The last time I saw this movie was probably like in 2018 or 19 or something. I think 2018, the same year it came out. I didn't watch it at the theaters, I think. I think I probably watched it on like streaming or something. I don't remember. But did I watch it at the theaters? I don't remember. I loved every moment of this, man. Because initially when I saw it, I thought this was gonna be a lesbian thing. I thought Tully was gonna be like the partner that she needed throughout this entire process. Then when I was watching it today, I felt like Tully sort of feels like Nanny McPhee. Like once the job is done, I'm gone. But despite all that, now that I'm a lot older, because I think when I watched it the first time, I was probably in my 30s. I don't know. 20s. So now that I'm older, I understand things like postpartum and whatever. Man, it just opens my mind even more to better understand motherhood and the stress that comes with motherhood, and how, like you were saying, and that someone else told me the same thing. One of my female best friends told me the same thing, that even if your husband is trying their best to help you, you still feel alone. That's where you need like a third person, like a mother or a cousin or someone who wouldn't fully understand everything, because she was saying, like, sometimes you just don't want anything, or sometimes you just lose your mind and nobody can fully comprehend what's happening right now. So I feel like, if this couple had a third member who had experience, maybe it wouldn't have gone as far as her being in a car accident or whatever. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think, like you're saying, you don't necessarily have to watch this movie more than once. But if you were to watch it the second time, you would have questions, even though you know the answers already, but those questions would make you look at life in a different way or learn something.
Yeah.
And yeah. Because I mean, are you telling me that she couldn't recognize herself as like when she saw herself? So it's like she was she knew who she was talking to the entire time. She knew it. It's crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's me, man. I don't know if there's anything you wanna say.
That's it, man.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for checking us out. Let us know your thoughts. My sincere apologies for the sniffing. Been having some major flu, man. But yeah, let us know if this is one of your favorite Charlize Theron films. What did you think of Mackenzie Davis? What did you think of everybody else in the film? Can you relate with any of these characters? Do you have qualms with our review? Do you think maybe we were lenient, or do you think that maybe we were harsh or strict? Do let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Rob Sibeko's book, Jin's War. It's $50. I would say, I think that you should get it now before this thing becomes $100 or $150. Get it now while it's still $50, because trust me, it will go higher, and now you won't be able to afford it anymore. Once Rob is on Oprah, forget it, it's done. So that's my advice to you guys. But yeah, otherwise, this is Mr. Extrodin, and that's Rob Sibeko, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Yes.